need like a different volume level for YouTube. When I do like Mixcloud, it's so much louder. What is going on with my hair? My hair's crazy today. It's like a shelf. What's going on with that? I guess it's humid today. Very, very humid around here. Alright, this camera can move too. Monitor stand. And I need an end-to-end cleanup stream on this shop because things gotten out of control, out of my control. We don't want that. So there might be a significant amount of dog barking going on upstairs because she needs to be crate trained. So it's time to weather the whining that this dog might do if she's put in the crate and left alone. She needs to be able to do it. I mean, she's a dog, so yeah, that's what we're facing today. There's potential that there's going to be a bunch of whining upstairs. I'm a big softie. I don't like to hear that. That might be a little loud. Here, I'm gonna bump it down a little bit. We'll do that. Hopefully this doesn't run into 1,001 copy strikes. I have to prime the... In this camera, you can see everything, but in the other cameras, I've cut off the top. So, it's just a little bit of something. All right, let's see here. I got a bunch of stuff that I need to like clean up. I haven't had time to like do anything down here. I've been working a little bit on the keyboard, but here are all my old keys. What is up, Tim? Hopefully Twitch doesn't flag this as forbidden music, because it is game music. Generally, game music is okay, I think. You do your best. That's dangerous. Not much. Yeah. I've been in puppy mode. Puppy, puppy, puppy. It's all puppy all the time. Every time. All the time. Having to just keep her company and stuff. So I haven't had a lot of time to like look at projects or the keyboard stuff that I've been meaning to do. I need to come up with a way to, because like if we look at the header pins for the keyboard, there's a header on it. Square pin header. Where's the square pin header? Yeah, that's not the one. I don't have any. Do I have any straight square headers? What's going on? They're all right angle. Here we go. Here's one. No, it's our puppy. We got a new puppy. A little short-legged corgi puppy. She's a long-haired corgi. What is going on with this camera? Hold on. What's going on with you, camera? 30 FPS. Go. Yeah, see all the stuff changes. Property. Highest FPS. Go. And then this. Put all my settings in. It's still crap. What's going on here? Hold on a sec. I gotta fix this camera. Low light compensation off. Autofocus doesn't matter. Exposure. Fewer streaking. I think that's where it should be. Yeah. Weird. Okay, so yeah, on the keyboard, what's happening is what I need to figure out is how to have. God, this music is like really distracting. Hold on, I'm like the same volume as the music. I guess this is a lot louder than I thought it would be. I'll put it like right there. I think that's probably good. That's like about half of my volume level, which makes it like very low volume. I don't know if that's even audible at this point. Anyway, this header on the screen is the height. The length of the pin is the total height from the PCB that the screen sits at. So I don't have room for a female header. on that. Yeah, this music is very busy. It kind of fills the airwaves. It's great. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I need some kind of like a low profile. I mean, I'm not gonna solder new headers in there because the screen doesn't actually need to be removable, but it would be fun to be able to just pluck it out. I don't know if I'm gonna either come up with, yeah, I mean, I've got lower profile headers. I've got that. Where did they go? Well, they're, you know, these guys, these, and then their subsequent female headers are actually come out to be much shorter, even though they're about the same length. But when you solder these and you can like clip the tops, they become about the same length. But anyway, so I'm having trouble with that because like I want that. I don't want to permanently. I guess I could just permanently solder it. I could just, you know, eat crow and permanently solder it. But I didn't want to have to do that. So I was thinking of ways to make like a lower profile thing, and I was wondering if I could take like DuPont connectors and cut them off so that they fit like mid-pin and just have the little retaining, the little spring that's inside of the pin on there. I don't know. I gotta think of something. God, this music is really invasive. Everything. The music is everything. It's everywhere. It's all I can interpret. This thing is from a World War II sniper rifle scope kit. And this is from my old potato cannon. Driving me nuts. Yeah, it's very busy music. But I put it on a potato gun, but it's from a Vietnam era thing, and it's infrared vision. It's got, this is like the trigger that turns on the infrared illuminator, and it was sent to a researcher that did a lot of optics research in regards to healthcare, and then it wound up in my possession. Through my brother, actually. Used to be a bookmarklet. Bookmarklet. JavaScript and a bookmark that made any web page into a Katamari game. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, Katamari, man. Classic stuff. I love it. Yeah, so all this is just a big handle trigger. No, we're gonna get distracted during the pre-stream. During the beginning part of the stream, and then we're gonna work on something else entirely. You know how it goes. I'm trying to pare down. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of garbage around here, so things like this have resurfaced, and I gotta break it down to its component parts and just stash it somewhere. I don't know what I could do with this thing. I'll come up with something eventually. But I'm definitely saving it, because, I mean, this is like an antique. It's from the 60s. Apologies to anybody from the 60s in chat. Apologies to anyone in their 60s in chat. I'm sorry you're on Twitch. Trash. What's up, Mr. Yin? It ain't morning here. It ain't morning no morning, more Morbin. Power supply leads. I just gotta go back and be organized. Retaking my shop. Mug, you can stay there. You're kind of protecting that DRO plug. Where can I pick this thing up from? 3D printed keyboard storage case design. If we were gonna work on the keyboard today, which by the way is working great, if we were gonna work on the keyboard, which I've been using for 4 days, we would, the color scheme on the mug, yeah, man. We would probably work on the screen programming, and I would love to get some progress done on that, but we're not, we gotta work on burning the subs. I mean, I got this thing sitting right here, right? This definitely needs to be worked on, so. This thing right here needs to be replaced. And I need to break down the water cooling setup because I need to clean it. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. Decide whether or not we want this power supply, which has been doing faithful work for quite some time. Sad to abandon this board. This is a good board, but this is a better board, and it'll take up exactly the same amount of room. I think. We got a 3D model for it. That's what we did last time when we worked on Burn the Sub, so we'll probably end up in Fusion 360 doing some stuff. Because they need to change where the mounting studs are. And then I guess this can stay here. That can stay, well, this will get swapped. The Raspberry Pi is in a decent spot. Probably gonna need to connect a big header to this thing though, and have all those pins go out somewhere. Possibly a circuit board that we put back here, but there's not that much room back here, so I don't know what we're gonna do about that. And then I need to figure out where a DB connector is gonna go on the side. We got DB connectors with tube fittings in them, right? That's all programming stuff. DB connector's so old. Nobody's talking about them anymore on the internet. Tube? Well, that's the question. How many pins do I need? I don't know. I don't know yet. We're not gonna have limit switches anymore, so that changes things. I just thought I thought in the past I saw DB connectors that actually have, like, tubes in them. I think people have modified them. But if I look up DB connector modification, it's all programming stuff. Here, let's go to a better view. So I don't look like I'm looking at my belly button. Let's see, DB connector tube mod. Adding the word mod puts us in a different space. Yeah, see that? It's like 3D print, and then they got like a filament going through the DB connector. That's kind of cool. If you're using a Bowden tube. I'm not. I don't have such weaknesses. I don't have such weaknesses. What do they call it? Feeding both filament and electrons through a custom D-sub connector. Maybe custom D-sub connector. I typed sub and Google thought it was porn and decided to no longer autocomplete. Look at that. That's got to be a $30 connector. Pretty cool. Oh my god. No, no, gone, no, gone. Okay. D-sub more often. Let me put the dash in there. That's the same results. These ones, the like really expensive, these ones are like really expensive. They're crazy. That's kind of cool. You're doubling up on the high current and low current. Yeah, none of them carry water. I'm pretty sure the housings will rust. I don't know if we'll do bulkhead fittings on this thing. I think just tubes coming out of it. But it would be nice to be able to take the control panel off. I don't really have any particularly strong need to be able to do that, but it would be nice to be able to bring it over here to work on if it ever needs work. Yeah, none of this stuff is really what I'm looking for, is it? This has a very well-tempered synthesizer feel. Look at that thing. It's just straight up brass tubes coming out of the back of it. What do you even do with this? I'm actually using one, and the one that I have, not the right angle version, but the one that I have, I'm actually using on Oh, this song is like pretty famous. The one that I'm using is actually on the steering wheel project because we have a high current motor, 3-phase motor, so we need 3 pins. Doesn't have the weak Bowden tube crap. 1 gram extra sugar, you're fucked. I don't even understand that comment. What do you mean? I mean, yeah, right now my glucose level's kind of climbing up because I had a chicken sandwich, and the lag time on insulin is pretty great. You can do like you can't really do a whole 3-phase motor with this because you're really supposed to have the data connection separately just to isolate it. But I mean, what would you have? This is like SPI, 5 pins, a big ground, and then your 3 phases. I guess you could do 5 volts, phase 1, phase 2 Z, maybe your own ground, but you'd want, yeah, I don't know. You might be able, you could do an encoder through that, like a basic one, but then you've got the high currents going through there that'll cause all kinds of interference. So I don't know. Lucky star. Oh wait, no, what are they saying? I forget what used to this music that I'm familiar with. Is it the bread or mayo in the chicken sandwich that causes a spike? It's the bread. Like, that's got carbs. Mayo doesn't have carbs in it. Mayo's just egg and, like, vinegar. Your vinegar egg. Yeah, Katamari music. Short Lurker posted something, Katamari somewhere, and I was like, that's it. That's what I'm going to use on the intro tomorrow. I miss Katamari, even though it's still around. Katamari was such a great, weird game. A friend of mine was just like, you ever play Katamari Damacy? And I'm like, what? And so he sat me down in front of it, and I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect game. What is it? It's, blah, 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 blah. Brain, hello? The Mr. Copper is playing Katamari Damacy for the first time. That's what it was. That's why I have the music in my head now. You just need to say the name, and this just goes. I guess I could use that. I could probably find a use for a bug like that. Car needle type 94W 5+4D sub. It's an AliExpress. Let's see how much this thing costs. $10. Wait, what the hell is that thing? Oh, is that like a? It's like a different. It's like a shielded pin, because you would have like a cat, or sorry, like a antenna style cable, right? Yeah, it's for BNC, exactly. You would strip the outside, and then the jacket would contact this, and I don't know, it seems like it was weird. Katamari's fun. I remember playing one of them with my sister years back. Yeah, it's been around for a long time. When was it released in Japan? Reroll came out, I think, recently, didn't it? Namco. 2000 really was 2004? I thought it would be like 1992. 2004, it's almost a 20-year-old game. This game can drive this year. It can drive in North America. It can take its exam. Or did they up the age for that? It's gonna be able to drink soon. I'm visibly aging on stream. I looked in a mirror and I smiled and I got those wrinkles, like the ones here, and I almost died. I almost just had a heart attack right there and burst into ash, like in Interview with a Vampire. People said, yeah, don't smile. It'll put wear and tear on your face. I need Botox. I'm not even 40 and I need Botox. I am old for this platform. Let's admit it. Most of us probably are too. But like, man, I watch these streamers and I'm like, these dudes is fun. And they're like, oh man, my 20th birthday is coming up. And I'm like, ah! And then I die. Old bother. Yeah, hey, hello Twitch. I need one more letter in my handle, in my weirdly branded handle that I got stuck with because of other old men who are my age, the Red Letter Media guys. That's how I came, like, so Oh Bother I came across that one when I was, I think, when did I decide to switch? It was a long time ago, probably around 2004. It might have been for Twitch that I came up with this name, and I was like, I can't fucking think of anything, like, Bother. And I was like, oh, there we go, that's it. And so I just did the underscore in there. Can't get the Twitter, because some lady has it from the year 1924. But that for a while, it was just a screen name. And then I did the controller project for Previously Recorded Live, which is the clunky name that Jack of Red Letter Media came up with for their stream. So I was very familiar with that stream, you know, got to know those guys and everything. Worked on a controller project for them. Their last stream, when they decided to pull a Beatles and just stop what they were doing, because it was done. Their last stream, they gave me a shout out because I just started streaming, and I was the only one ever on their stream to get a shout out. This is before like raids and stuff like that on Twitch, I think. But yeah, I was the only one to get a shout out from them, but they wouldn't have been familiar with the new screen name, so they shouted out Oh Bother, and I'm like, well, I'm stuck with it. But apparently people think it's good just for the attitude that I've got on this stream. So, whatever. Got a weird history of defeatist screen names I gotta get away from. What a weird connector. $10 connector. Yeah, that's why I got this kind of like clunky, and that's why work verb. The reason that work verb design exists, that other clunky branding that I have, work verb design came about. God, my hair is weird today. Came about because I won the Reddit Millionaire Makers contest. What that was is, I don't know if they're still doing it, if they're whatever. But okay, so Reddit, some shower thought was posted on Reddit years and years back, and the shower thought was, hey, if we just like donate $1 to somebody, they could become a millionaire, because there's a lot of people on this subreddit. I'm like, all right, that seems kind of cool. So I kind of like casually followed that for a while, and every now and then throw somebody $1. The entry to the contest was simply leaving a comment in the thread. And so what happened was I left a comment in the thread, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, I got a message on Reddit, and I'm like, that's weird. Why would I get a message on Reddit? And nobody talks to me on there. And it turns out that I won the thing. And what I had to do was make a new email account so that I could retain anonymity and have a donation location. So I did all that. I got $1,500, bought a mill. I bought the milling machine. $1,500, not the best haul in all of it. And every now and then I get an email about my my digital currency holdings, because I got a bunch of digital currency from the contest. And I could have probably, at the height of things, I almost had one single Bitcoin. I was at 0.9 when that leak from Reddit many, many years ago reminded me that I didn't have two-factor authentication enabled, because it came about, like, I forgot to sign up for two-factor authentication. So somebody got into my Reddit account, and then through that got into the Bitcoin accounts, and then drained it so that I had 0.1 Bitcoin. 0.1 Bitcoin was still pretty powerful back in the day, but I never cashed in on it. I'm just like holding it infinitely. I might cash it in at some point. I gotta figure that out. That was the thing where someone randomly called you? Was my phone number? No, I don't think so. But yeah, somebody did call me on stream. Didn't think it was creepy at all. Oh yeah, that was, no, see the person looked at the Bitcoin that I was holding, called me to tell me about the money, and didn't think there was anything wrong with that. I don't know you. How'd you find my phone number? Wish I'd bought someone who was around $100. When it was $10, I thought it wasn't reasonable. In 2010, I had a diabetic buddy, one of these buddies that I have through the diabetes subreddits and IRCs and stuff that I occasionally catch up with. And he was like, you should buy Bitcoin. And I'm like, I'm not gonna buy like $300 worth of Bitcoin, 30 Bitcoin. What am I gonna do with that? Buy drugs? Like, that's stupid. I'm not gonna put money into that. I could have had millions. It's best not to think about these things, though. It's best not to think about these things. You spare yourself the trouble of worrying about what could have been. Jesus, really? Casual friend bought Bitcoin early, sold it at its peak. Now he owns a liquor store off the profits. Damn. Must be kind of cool. This is the store that Bitcoin bought. No loans. I would think the no loans thing would make you a bit of a target, though, wouldn't it? Like, how do you do it? Is this a money laundering scheme? What? Wait, what is GOX? GOX. Ouch. $100 when I was 9, lost it on GOX. Jeez. 200. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh, you bought a liquor store. Oh, neat. Where did the money come from? You gotta be like, we taught computers to solve equations and like blow up the planet. And that's why graphics cards were $900 for a little while. And then, and why they're like $30 now, and that the IRS person has stopped listening at that point. BTS today, yes. Oh, I need to start up Fusion. Make sure that that's all right. How's Fusion? Is it safe? I got Fusion news. I may have lost my teaching subscription. Finally. I think they updated their subscription stuff, and they were like, who the fuck is this? And they deleted me. So I think I have just the normal copy. I don't know. It wants me to install like this exe that I don't want to install. Hold on, let me make sure. I'm not on screen, right? All right, good. Password. Two-factor authentication. Oh my god. I gotta do all this stuff. I'm too lazy for this. I'm always afraid. Oh, that just changed. Wait. Where the hell did it go? I'm always afraid somebody's gonna crack that thing where you use a AI, I think it is, that can listen to the sounds of the different keys pressed on a keyboard, and so it can using audio, it can figure out what keyboard buttons you hit. I missed the keyboard finale. Did you get it to work? Yeah, it actually works really well. Double pressing comma at the moment, a little weird. And I need to invent the entire, God, it just makes me tired thinking about it. I need to invent the entire screen logic of it, flipping to different keyboard layouts and stuff. Look at this. I got a subscribe now button up there. Sag. I didn't have such weaknesses. I had access to all kinds of cool stuff that was like really expensive within Fusion, including the what is it, generative design stuff. Yeah, I'm super happy that the scheme of using two muxes for the using muxes for the rows and the columns works well. Actually works really well. They did that with Android phones and the gyroscope sensing the tiny vibrations on the desk for different keys. Jesus Christ. Like, you can't even like turn on your radio in the car without somebody else listening to it based on like the panel vibrating or something. This is downloading a new update. That's why I opened it up now. I'm actually being responsible. I feel like at some point I'm gonna crack and we're just gonna do a week of My Summer Car. I feel that coming on. I'm feeling a little stressed out about everything right now. I just got through, what is it? Oh yeah, you guys can't see. You're not on that camera. Fusion 360 is updating, so the frames might be a little funky. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna crack soon. No, not MSC on crack, idiot. I feel like I'm gonna have like just need to have like just My Summer Car week and do a start over. A lot of streamers have been playing My Summer Car lately, and it's really it's giving me that itch again. I'll save the save that we have for the rally driving, because I do want to use the steering wheel when I play My Summer Car now, because that's what the whole fucking project was about, right? We finally have the reverse lock out so that I can actually find the gears that I want to go into. But I feel like I should start over with that game, because I want to have like a strong start and kind of like do it with chat. And I might just take a week to not work on projects and do My Summer Car, just as like stress relief week, you know? I might do that. I don't know if that'll happen soon or not. Probably not. I need to settle into the schedule. You know, we just got a puppy and everybody is tired, and we're trying to train her and get her working with us. She's getting more willful now. She's getting more willful and starting to try to like usurp us and like tell us what to do, which is fine, because at least we have a signal now where she sits by the gate and kind of gives us a look, and we know that she wants to go out. So she's at least not pooping and peeing everywhere, you know? Although she might pee the crate today. Crate training has started, so there might be whining and barking, or she might just go with it. Yeah, did anybody clip my bullying Timo? Because I remember Cannibal Jeeves was there to react to that one too. And yeah, I think, Schmide and I had a bunch of people. Basically, the first thing I did was chuck a gas can through the front window of Timo's and be like, Timo! And then he charged me for it. What a jerk. How far are we into the update? Restart Fusion 360. All right, here we go. As my computer takes a poop. I wonder if there's a clip of that, because that was a good clippable moment. I had fun. We had to restart because he wanted to charge me 2,000 Swede bucks, and that wasn't money that I had. Oh, look at this. Trial ends in 27 days? Uh-oh. What is that about? Hold on. Fusion 360 trial ends. Oh, no, what are you doing? What is this new thing? After the 30-day trial expires, cannot secure the free personal license until the 30-day trial to the full software has expired. If you're still within the trial period, you may want to bookmark this page and come back to blah, blah, blah. Go to the Fusion 360 for personal use homepage. Activate for personal use. See, I already have an account, and there's like this account exe that it wants me to download. This is the Fusion 360 Educator Forum. To find resources, tips, and answers for the education community. If you're an educator who uses Fusion 360 in their courses, secondary and post-secondary, I'm not either of those. I guess I'm post-secondary? Oh boy. Uh-oh. Back to school special, get set for back to school. I don't know. I'll have to explore this later. I just got through all the stress of, hold on, autos personal, not for commercial use in the top toolbar. And then there's a little, somebody has a video. It's like one of these AI generated things. All right, well, I'll have to, in a month, I'll have to deal with that. God damn it. I'll have to see whether or not I can lie my way into being an educator. Because technically, I'm educating you guys on how to use Fusion 360. Like, this benefits them. But then again, I'm just this tiny bug on Fusion's radar, and they might decide to just squish me. They just might go, ha 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 ha, yes! And then I'm back to personal use, which is, I think, is okay. Personal use is fine. Even though, technically, I don't know if this counts as personal, but I'm not making money directly off of the designs that I do, so that it does count. You know, I don't have to totally adhere. I can broadcast it, but it's a mess. Because technically, I'm sitting here educating you guys on how to use CAD programs and like how they go together and stuff. So after a long time, hello, Obother and community. Hey, I'm glad you're comfortable commenting. Good to talk to you. I think I'm gonna have to use the bathroom in a minute here. Let's see here. We're doing Katamari Music Day. In October, we get social engineering and F360 course. The big stress thing that I had going on was that pump supplies. I had to get pump supplies secured. And for some reason, it was the first time anyone's ever had a change in medication, I guess. CVS has just rolled certain health plans into Caremark, so all the departments were all internal to CVS, and I got bumped around from department to department. There was one department that needed to see that there was an override for an early renewal on a medication. They needed that override in order to submit the prescription that was only on their internal files. There was another department that was an advocate for me that I guess just was able to speak to the different departments. And there's a third, like, approval department. So there was a pharmacy that was supposed to fill it, and a person that was supposed to approve with the prior authorization, but they couldn't see the prescription. The pharmacy could, but the pharmacy wouldn't submit the prescription in order to get it denied, and then the other person able to approve the prior authorization. It's like a catch-22. Like, conditions needed to exist ahead of time in order for this to happen. And I didn't know this until yesterday's phone call. Yesterday's phone call, I got bounced from department to department again. And the person was like, I was like, no, this cannot still be happening. Like, please don't do this. Because last week I called them, and for 4 hours I got put from department to department. Because they would look up my stuff and go, oh, you need to speak to the pharmacy. Boom. Forward it over to the pharmacy. Pharmacy. Oh, yeah, we just need they didn't even tell me that they needed it, but they needed to have that override in order to fill it. For some reason, they just wouldn't put it through. And so they immediately popped me back over to the person that should be able to get the prior auth. So there was a disconnect there, and I just kept, like, getting thrown back and forth between all these departments. It was a nightmare. I've listened to more hold music than I think I can ever tolerate in my lifetime. And I'm gonna have to listen to more. This happens with diabetes every now and then. Pharmacy staggers out prescriptions just to make me buy stuff at their store. It's a tough job. That's a tough job, it is. I was friends with a couple pharmacists in my day because I fucking live there. I live there. I have to get all kinds of prescriptions. Man. Where's my video monitor window? There we are. Okay, how am I looking? Back straight? Nope. Shrimp posture. Back straight, eyes open, hair stupid. Doing good. Yeah, the with Fusion 360, I put in a bunch of credentials about like where I was educating and stuff, and it went through. I didn't lie. I actually did not lie for that application, I don't think. And so for a couple of years, I had the educational license, which unlocks a bunch of stuff. But at the same time, because I want to show just CAD and Fusion 360 looks really nice and has limitations for the free version, I wasn't really able to show the limitations of the free version. So it might just be a good thing that I bump over to the consumer version of it. It might just be a good thing that I go over to the personal use version. And then all the little headaches I can complain about. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, when I've talked about this before, attitudes were like, whatever, just screw them. Just do it, do whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't remember this song from Katamari Damacy. Where did it go? Really, it's still going up? God damn it. I gave all this insulin back then. That should have countered this chicken sandwich. It was potato bread. Gotta get away from potato bread, I think. That's all we had. Yeah, it's you know, tuning into streams that are kind of like in your off hours are tough. There's a bunch of streamers that I would love to watch, but I just can't. They just stream when I'm not around, you know? I'm sweating. It's hot down here today. got nothing. It's just like, it's such like a, I got the prescription thing sorted out finally, and now I'm just like, what is my life? What am I doing? What am I doing here? 2 days till fall? Yeah, right. We should move those timelines around, because it's not going to give up the ghost that easily. What the hell? I gotta trim my beard. I got like weird split ends. Not a split end, it's like a knot on the end of the fiber. Weird. My beard hairs at the very end are like knotting up. CVS sucks. They've lost my insulin before while maintaining that it wasn't lost. They just couldn't find it. Oh my God. What the person told me last week on the phone, she said, it says here that you should use 1 pod every 3 days. You should do that. I like a fuse broke in my brain. I was like, what? I got mad. I got legit mad at somebody some poor person on the phone just trying to do their job. But it's like, this is, insulin's like water. Sometimes you drink more water, sometimes you drink less water, and if you don't drink water, you die. And different people drink different amounts of water. I happen to drink a lot of water. I like to stay hydrated. Because external insulin has a varying effect on the human body. Your body doesn't like external insulin as much as it likes its own. What is a pod per day burn rate? Mine is a little less than 1 every 2 days, but that's also kind of my fault. I need to eat less. I'm a big guy. But my insulin resistance is such that I'm using something like 100 units a day, and the pod only holds 200 units. And why does it only hold 200 units? I don't fucking know. I really wish Omnipod would put 300 units in the fucking things, because they're not reusable, and I would get around this by reusing supplies. I would reuse supplies. But like, I got my doctor to approve more insulin, and I got my doctor to approve more pumps. So I don't know what the hang up fucking was, why they had to come in and say, hey, maybe you should use less. Like, maybe you should go fuck yourself. I've heard in prison, diabetics have a terrible time. They get a set rate and 1 type of insulin. Jesus Christ. That sounds awful. I can't believe they would. I've never looked into it. I don't plan on going to prison anytime soon. I don't know if I'll get arrested by AutoCAD for lying to them, but about being an educator. Where's your teacher license? Throw him in the clink. Yeah, I don't know. That sucks. I hear all kinds of fucked up shit about, you know, diabetes management in prison. It's not a good scene. AutoCAD police dispatched. It's the music industry police are gonna fucking come here and shoot me in the face. At least then I won't go to prison. I can't go back, chat. +5. But, yeah. Same thing with psych meds. Oh, man. This is gross. These tubes are full of gross. I need to really wash them out. I don't know if this is just like scaling or stuff in the water, but these tubes were more clear before. They were more clear. They looked nicer until I drained them. Yeah, I think they're just coated in stuff that's in the water. And then I think there was a bit of evaporation that affected it. But anyway, supposedly the order's going through, although I won't believe them until I see the order on my desk. I was running out of pods, and I was considering going back to my other insulin pump for a little while. That was my grand scheme, and it blew up in my face because I got the wrong kind of insulin pump. Yeah, that's so I got the Omnipod 5, and I wanted the Omnipod Dash, and I didn't know that, because the Omnipod 5 is not compatible with the open source tools that I want to use to manage my glucose level. So what I was going to do is I was able to save up a lot of my old pump supplies, and so I would get the new supplies in and coast off of the old supplies for almost 3 months, and then I would have tons of extras, right? Because these things are very unforgiving about insulin usage, and like basically all of the material from the pump company is like, if something goes wrong, just fucking throw it. Like, just, it's gone, it's done, do a new one. And it's like, I can't, because I'm prescribed exactly the number of pods that I need to get to the next cycle. Why do they do that in complete opposition to how the pump company treats it? Because, I mean, you know, infusion sets, you've got a tube going under your skin. Something goes wrong with that, redo it. And you're supposed to be changing those infusion set sites because you're a human and your body is fighting that site because it's a foreign object in the body. It's got to fight it, right? Things go wrong, infections, bad sites, the human body moves around, believe it or not. It like flexes and moves and distorts in ways that Band-Aid adhesive cannot exactly keep up with. So that's sort of just mentality of just like, it's fucked, do another one. People can't do that. Hey, speak in English because I can't moderate you. I'm like the only moderator around here. I can't moderate you in foreign languages easily. I'll use Google Translate. But yeah, so the prescription companies treat it as if you immediately detect language, please. And don't put it into German. What kind of drink is that? Blue and glowing, is that healthy? Oh, it's conformal coating, it's not a drink. It's conformal coating. It's a polymer coating. I'm not drinking polymer coating. Oh, I probably should be at this rate. Anyway, yeah, it's completely fucked the way they treat this. And supposedly you can call the company and they will send you another pod, but that's another thing you got to do. And like the one fellow, the Clock J, was telling me, these systems are designed to disincentivize you from getting more stuff. So make my insides silky smooth. Yeah, like those pipes they coat in the polymer, like drainage pipes that they have that polymer like snake that goes through or whatever. Is your A1C better with a pump than manual injection? I've been using the pump since college, and the insulin pump was a vital part of college, in that the schedule in college is not as set in. My A1Cs went down, they went back up, but then the singular thing that gave me the biggest advantage over my A1Cs was the Dexcom. The constant glucose monitor, because even if you're on injections, the constant glucose monitor is something you cannot escape from. For a little while, that was great, not being able to escape from it, because you learn things. Like, for instance, I have a superpower. I'm actually a mutant, like an X-Men, except that I don't turn into a gelatinous blob and die. What happens with me is when I eat white bread, I can process that faster than any other living organism on the planet into glucose in my blood. That's my superpower. It's pretty ironic too. It's got a good narrative to it because I'm diabetic. But I learned that with the Dexcom. If I had processed white bread, straight up. Now tell me, do you really want to love white bread forever? Oh. Yeah, it's hit and run, you know? It sucks. But it taught me that. And it also taught me about like how the body's reacting to glucose throughout the day, what certain meals do, how great bolusing ahead of time is. I always love when you're like, I'm gonna get delivery food and it's gonna be a gastric nightmare, so I'll bolus now before it's been delivered. And then you get the little notification that your delivery has been delayed and you're like, I'm gonna die. What about toast? Same deal. The Maynard reaction doesn't do a whole hell of a lot for the amount of carbohydrate and the processability of the carbohydrate. It's actually, I think, more processable, I believe, the Maynard reaction. Doesn't it? No, it solidifies the sugars. It might, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's terrible. But anyway, the Dexcom, beautiful, wonderful piece of equipment. I think that it's better than the pump in terms of the overall quality of life brought to diabetics. And for the longest time, Dexcom was the only constant glucose monitor that was reliable. There were other companies, like Mini Medtronic made one, and it was like a nightmare. I don't know what they're like now. But toast is only affecting the surface layer. Yeah, it's not that thin of a layer, but yeah, this is like the weird part, the weird Katamari. I'm debating if I need to go to the bathroom before we start. I don't even know what we're doing today. We're doing an assessment. We need to figure out what we're doing, you know? And this might end up being a slightly shorter stream, but Pump and CGM, closed loop. Precisely. That's why I, oh man, I was in the middle of explaining shit and I just forgot. Hold on a sec. So what happened was I was supposed to be months ahead of my supplies. I was in a really good position. I was really excited to start this Omnipod 5 and using the open source tools to use it on my Pixel 6 that I just bought for hundreds of dollars, right? It's a very expensive phone. I kind of went out there because I'm going to have this for like 7 years, right? Then I find out, one, this is not compatible with Dexcom. Or not Dexcom, well, yeah, Dexcom, as well as the Omnipod 5. Fucking, like, Insulet, which is the name of the company, went like, let's design an insulin pump that you can use with a phone. And they're like, what about Android 12? That's a phone. They're like, no, let's go a generation behind. Nobody told me. Technically, they didn't tell me misinformation, but they omitted. Not even omitted. They kind of said we're only compatible with this, that, and the other thing. But the promise on all the marketing was that you could use your phone. Well, can't. So the Omnipod 5 was no bueno. And I got a delivery of the fucking things. And I was like, all right, so let's do Xtrip, which is the open source CGM. Xtrip worked perfectly with the Dexcom. And then let's do the loop. Let's do Open APS, Open Android Pancreas System, right? Open APS, it's like people are ranting and raving about it. I had ignored the project for many, many years and just got kind of back in contact with some Discord people through the diabetes stuff, and I was like, all right, let's see what the state of the art is, because they've had this for a long time and people have been using it to much fanfare. They've been talking about it a lot. So I got it, and it turns out, yeah, this insulin pump that was released like a month ago. Well, it's like 4 months now, but at the time it had just been released. Like I was securing supplies the week it was released. It turns out that people who are completely out of the loop, you know, with a company's product, they're not just gonna, like, by the grace of God, be like, here's an API for you. Use our potentially fatal insulin pump with your own tools. Ha ha ha! Everybody's having fun out here, and here, go kill people. No, they're not doing that. So all of the stuff that's in the open source stuff is hacked. And so the week that thing was released, obviously they're not going to support the Omnipod 5. I have 3 months of Omnipod 5 supplies. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I actually have a little controller that is actually essentially a cell phone. So if I need to, I can go to those for a little while. But that also closes the loop, but it has its own system, and it's dangerous to swap between stuff like that. If I need to, I can. But still, that should have gotten me ahead of the pump supplies. The initial like weird stuff is getting your supplies, getting enough supplies, and then you know, learning to use them and using them properly, right? So I didn't get enough. So I got the doctor to approve more, et cetera, et cetera. Now I've got the previous generation of pod. So it is the Omnipod Dash, which is a total departure from my normal insulin pumps, right? I used to have a plastic tube that would catch on doorknobs and stuff. I don't have that anymore. I keep grabbing at my belt to try to grab my insulin pump, because I've had an insulin pump for like 10 years, takes us back to 2012. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, so 15 years I've had an insulin pump. 15 years I've had something on my belt or pocket that would deliver little bits of insulin to me throughout the day. So I don't have that anymore. I just have a thing somewhere on my body. I just have a little tumor somewhere on my body that's delivering me insulin. It's really cool. It's really like different system. I've been wanting to go to pods but in the past, the pods would come up with this big PDA looking fucking thing. It was just like this big thing that you have to carry instead of, it's like you could have a pump and it's like this big and you put it on your belt, or you could have a pod, which is like a hard spot on your body, and you have to carry around this giant PDA from 1995. No, thank you. I thought that was stupid. But once they incorporated the cell phone, I can just look like a typical millennial, and I don't have shit that's going to catch on a doorknob at the same time. So I'm learning it. It's kind of cool. But what I have for this is the OpenAPS system. And OpenAPS, assuming my phone doesn't open something that's going to dox me, this is basically running my pancreas. So what we have is we have a yellow line that represents my glucose level and what that fucking chicken sandwich is doing to my body. It's killing me. Look at that. Jesus Christ, would you please? It's also hot in here, so maybe my insulin, maybe I'm getting a little insulin resistant as a result. And then we have active insulin on board, and that goes up like that. And that's actually following a, now what are we doing? It's following a curve based on the type of insulin that it is. And so what this enables me to do is activate things like super micro bolusing, which is where I get little tiny bits of insulin at a time. These little tiny boluses, that's what these blue arrows are. These little tiny bits of insulin, and those help push down the glucose level more effectively than a big bolus. And it helps the control system act a lot faster. So what this can also do, and I haven't gotten to the point where I can enable it yet. I need to have it in this mode for more than a month. But what I can do is I can enable this to detect if I eat something and forget to bolus, because it'll see a big upswing and we'll go, hold on a minute, that needs a big bolus. So, but generally, like as time goes on, it'll alter the amount of the steady state of insulin that I get throughout the day, and then it'll also give little tiny bits of insulin in order to pump the number back down. It's a pretty cool system, and it's using past results in order to help tune itself. Really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. It's like actually tuning itself to your body as time goes on. And then in addition to that, this is also uploading all of that information to a website that's accessible by anybody. You can go to this website right now and see what's going on with my glucose levels. You can just see it. It's just there. It's just there. It's all just there. All of it. I still have yet to give this address to my doctor. I need to do that. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. All kinds of cool information in there too. But yeah, so in about, how many days? How many days do I have left? Man, I'm sweating. These studio lights are hot today. We'll get to burn the subs, don't worry. Don't you worry. We're not gonna work on burn the subs. I'm just gonna have a podcast today. We'll just podcast today. I wanna actually do anything. Burn the subs is just a big lie. It's just a big scam. It's my Star Citizen. 14 days I have until I can enable some of the more advanced automation things. There's already there's already too many diabetes podcasts out there. I could probably do my own, but the one that people jump in here, Diabetic Turtle will jump in here periodically to promote their podcast, and I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. But it's the Diacast. I have all kinds of guests on there. Never me though. I'm not cool enough. I'm not cool enough. I'm not cool enough. People have this people have this weird impression of how popular I am. I'm not. I'm a scrub. I happen to con Twitch into being able to partner through people watching me when Rob Oz wasn't streaming. That's all it is. Insulin podcast. Ugh. Yeah, welcome to the Start Soon cast. Your viewers are the good ones. You cultivate that kind of stuff when you stream. That's sort of that's on the streamer. That's on the streamer. All right, I am gonna have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get soda, and then we'll get started when I get back. So I'm gonna put up a BRB. I'm actually gonna change up the music and turn it down a little bit. Today we'll be talking about starting a podcast. Yeah, It's the recursive cast. It's the recursive, reoccurring podcast cast. The fractal cast. Let's get rid of that. Let's do, we'll do music that I know is not copyright, which will be, actually that one got hit by, we can only do this one, I think. The one that I know isn't gonna get killed by copyright, which is the one that I typically play, but I'll do that just for the BRB. Oh, I turned the volume all the way down. And it'll be really soft. And then when I come back, we'll get started, okay? Yeah, me. That is a Crystal Pepsi from 1992. Yeah, my brother saved it, and it ended up in my stuff. So, all right, let's get started here. We don't have a lot to do today. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to work on, but we definitely have a lot to do with burn the subs. So let's get this out of here. Let's get this out of here. And what is, wait, no. What is that? That shouldn't, okay. What, you guys weren't supposed to see that. All right, so I'm back. I'm back. Burn the subs. We gotta work on it, guys, gals. We gotta work on burn the subs. We gotta work on burn the subs. This is a project that has been ongoing on this stream, and actually it has not been going long enough that there may even be people in chat who don't know what it is or have never seen it active. That's a weird part about the stream here. It's kind of a bit of a revolving door. We got different people in the later parts of the stream than we do in the initial parts of the stream. I stream on East Coast time in the middle of the day just to make sure that I'm keeping my life together. So I get sort of a quasi-international and United States-bound crowd. So in order to get money from you guys, which is literally all I care about in life, I just want to incentivize Twitch chat to spend money on me. I literally have no other use for Twitch or their chat or their users. They're a bunch of socially... Damn it, if I had remembered all the terminology. I don't give a shit about any of you guys. I just care about your money and you guys spending it on me. Because I'm worth it and you guys are a bunch of social pariahs who are watching long-form content in the middle of the day. Fucking weirdos. Now, I love Twitch and I'm all over it. I'm all over Twitch. I'm not just one of these people that just dropped into Twitch and I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it in order to... Don't do that. Thank you, Project 454. You guys check out Project 454 streams. You're my piggy bank. That's right. You guys are my walking around money. Listen, so I I built this project on a whim. It was something that I was just sitting there on the initial stages of my stream and going, you know, I really wanted to originally build a EDM machine, an electric discharge machining thing. And so I actually bought a little like motor control board. And I was sitting here like playing with lasers with my chat in like 2016. And I was like, you know, we could hook this up to like the motor control board and that would be kind of like a cool subs board, you know, like a whiteboard, but I'm not shaking my booty on camera. I'm basically to the side here and letting the board do all the work. So a couple months later, we had this thing going up live. We took it in stages. It was like little stages of things that we needed to work on, and then the whole system went together. Bada bing, there you go. I had this system where if people subscribe to my channel, they will end up getting burnt onto the board. And we do that with a Raspberry Pi. It was the only project that I've had that actually legitimately uses the power of the Raspberry Pi to some degree. I could probably actually make that work on a smaller microcontroller now that I know how it works, but whatever. We used an entire Raspberry Pi and a lot of Python in order to make it work. Python might be slow, but it is very capable and it's very fun language to just, you know, write up the logic. You guys are just, yeah, you guys are just currency with arms. That's it. That's all you are to me. So anyway, it's a cool like incentive for people to actually like subscribe to your channel. And it made a little bit of like a fanfare around it, and people got their money's worth. They got their $5 worth, and then I got half of that. Because Twitch likes to keep all of our money and then tell us that we need advertisement for some reason. Oh, we can't be a viable platform without advertisements. What happened to half of every sub that you get from these giant streamers and stuff? I think they lose money on everybody but the big guys, but it's still like that should be sustainable without ads. God, I hate modern society and advertising. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about that. What I am going to rant about is that this is very effective, this thing behind me. Very effective at getting people to sub. And I've got 2 boards that are just filled with names. It's really, really cool to have so many different people, discombobulated people, sign, you know, give money, and then have proof, like a big receipt of all of that in a work of art. They currently are I took parts for what was going to be the redux of the board, and I used those in order to put them up as a backdrop to my computer desk. So they're pretty cool. I want to put lighting in that thing, but that's not what we're working on today. They were sustainable before forcing ads on us constantly. They were, and that's why I loved the platform. I now am critical of the platform because they keep doing weird stuff like moment badges to say, I was here for this. I wouldn't mind them doing this weird stuff that breaks Twitch, save for the fact that they are just turning this into television with constant ads. I hate it. I hate television, and I don't like advertisements. If you can't tell, I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I probably won't be for a long time. If I'm overly positive about stuff that I'm using in the shop, that's my own opinion about it. If I'm overly positive about external things to what I do in the shop, know that I'm cashing in a paycheck by doing that. I forgot to get liquid. I need to get liquid. I had cottage cheese last night, and I think I'm a little bit lactose intolerant. I'm learning. Anyway, speaking of shit, burn the subs. So we put all that system together, and I filled 2 boards with it. We need a slight change in the technology. We need it to be more current, more interesting, more modern, more fun. So there's a couple things that I want to do with the board that we've been working on, and we've so far done quite a bit with it. What I did is the fellow who, one of my IRL friends, Gunnier, knew about what was it called again? It wasn't Wyncote, Pennsylvania, was it? I don't remember. Anyway, some small town in PA that we drove to where this guy had all of these live edge boards, and he took a bunch of money off of that one. That one was oddly expensive. It's a very enormous chunk of wood. It's actually a lot more thick than I wanted it to be. Because burn the subs don't have any particular purpose. Like, this is like a park bench sized piece of wood behind me. Anyway, we bought that giant slab of wood, and we attached it to burn the subs. Turns out burn the subs wasn't quite tall enough for it, so I had to do little modifications in order to get the maximum out of my 1500 millimeter rails. In addition to that, I decided that now that I'm 3D printing a lot more stuff, we can do work in order to make this more of a solid system, right? So we can print out brackets and attachments and, you know, things to modify the hot end, the end that's actually got the laser on it, in order to function properly. I hear a puppy running around. I should warn you guys, at some point my heartstrings are gonna fucking explode because we're crate training the puppy. She doesn't have any sense of, you know, people going out and being sort of left to just sleep. So we need to do that. We need to crate train her so that she properly handles all that stuff and knows what's going on. So while I'm down here, at some point, she's going to be put in her crate and the door's going to be closed and she's going to be left alone for a little while to see how she reacts and if she's used to that or not. She might just go to sleep, but she might also make a lot of noise. She's a corgi puppy and she's very loud when she wants to be. So there will be whining and there will be barking, and hopefully it won't come through on the mic, but man, it's going to break my brain. I don't want to hear it because she's so adorable. Puppy cam. Can't do puppy cam. I can take her down here and hang out with her, but we need to crate train her. So I'm just going to, you know, we're not going to have her down here. She needs to learn, you know, she needs to learn how to puppy. She's gotten most of how to puppy. I mean, she goes to the bathroom outside almost exclusively now. And she knows how to signal us for outs and stuff like that. We're still taking her out very often, but yeah, I don't know if I hear whining or not, and I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to hear it. The problem is that I'm talking at a theater voice down here, and she is probably literally right above me. So she might, well, I mean, those corgi ears will pick up me talking, so she'll kind of know that somebody's home, which is bad. But yeah. Anyway, that might be something that goes on, but it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Anyway, so in the upgrades to burn the subs, I'm 3D printing a lot more stuff, including like brackets and things that look fancy. The previous version of burn the subs, just because we could, I water cooled the motor drivers because we did a test with these TMC motor drivers. Your typical stepper motor will go from position to position to position, and that actually is very it's rough, right? It's very rough. Bark? No, it's very rough. Bark, like wood, a dog, or rough, like Woof. Anyway, stepper motor going through its stuff. That's where you get all of these robot noises that they do in like Hollywood. Rear, rear, rear. Those are the motors going from position to position as it rotates at a speed with just a direct voltage. If you pulse that and you pulse it and you change the width of the pulse, PWM, you can ease into the next step. And that's what the TMC drivers do. So we were able to remove all of the noise from Burn the Subs. It can go from position to position with very minimal noise. My 3D printer does that too. That's how I'm able to be in the same room as them and not freak out about all the noise that they create. Because otherwise, you're sitting there listening to rear, 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 and it's just like, stop, just stop. So the TMC drivers were a big upgrade to the previous version of the board. But in testing, to see what kind of a load they could handle, how much current, how much force they could, move around on the XY axis, we found them overheating. And so I was like, fuck it, let's meme it. Let's water clock it. Let's water cool it. It's hot down here, I'm sweating. Let's water cool them for the memes, just for fun, whatever. So we came up with a water cooling system, and that's kind of what you're looking at here, is we got two TMC drivers on these copper blocks. Well, those copper blocks happen to be Raspberry Pi water cooling equipment. It's something that AlphaCool sells. So why not get a third one for the Raspberry Pi? People are like, is that a water-cooled Raspberry Pi? Yes, sir, it is. There's literally no reason to water cool your Raspberry Pi unless you're super overclocking it, because this chip on the Raspberry Pi dumps all of its heat to a nice big wide ground plane. The 3B Plus, I can't speak for the 4, I can't speak for the 2. The 3B Plus is extremely good at just vibing. It can just exist like this, especially on standoffs in open air. But we did it anyway, and it worked. I mean, the whole control system behind this thing is that when these got to a particular temperature, the water would start flowing through everything, and then this would just cool the Raspberry Pi through whatever natural motion of water existed. I'm not even sure if there was any. So yeah, that was the scheme for the previous 2 versions of Burn the Subs. I want to rage and demand a puppy on stream, but I lost mine a few years ago, and now I feel worse than shit. What? Worse than shit bit on a rusty car. Not using it to get a friend? What? I don't understand what you're talking about. Bad direction? I'm sorry about your loss, man. No, the puppy will eventually be on camera. It's just I'm in a basement and the stairs are too big for her, and she needs to be crate trained. That's important right now as she develops as a dog, as a family dog. But anyway, so, and if you want to see pictures of the puppy, there's more than enough media on the Discord. I have a pets channel on the Discord for everybody to post pictures that you've taken of pets. It doesn't have to be your pet, but it has to be your picture. That's that channel's rule. But yeah, that channel contains about 4 gigabytes worth of photos of the dog. Because I've been doing nothing but taking pictures of my own puppy. She's so cute. Anyway, so here's the redux of the redux of the redux of Burn the Subs. I have decided to take water cooling to the next level. Dun, dun, dun. So what I wanted to do with this system, and I don't know if the, is the thingy over here? Where's my thingy-wingy? I don't know where the thingy-wingy is. What I've decided to do is to put everything to 3D printing, all the mechanical stuff, all the little interstitial parts that'll hold this thing together. I put it all... Chip emotes will become a dog emote in time. I'm calling it now. I'm gonna make a dog emote. Don't worry. We'll make bother dog, ob dog. Yeah, emotes are coming after I get a little bit of progress into this thing. Yeah, Willow emotes. Just what the internet needs. More emotes of dog. Here, I can show dog right now, just to calm everybody down. There's my dog. Look at her. She's so adorable. That little puppy dog right there. Look at that puppy dog. She's so cute. All right, anyway, hold on. Literally just have to scroll back like 4 photos. We have 1 ear that's gone into space. 1 ear, Project 454. What are you doing? 10 Willow emotes artist fund. I don't pay nobody for my emotes. I make them myself. She is adorbs. She's an adorb. But her one ear is sticking up now. She's one ear up, one ear down. We're waiting for the symmetry, but I don't know when that'll occur. All right, so we're putting our best foot forward. We're trying to make a good system out of this. I had a little debate recently, and I don't think I'm going to do it, but I have this really, really nice power supply and no use for it. This is like a super duper nice power supply. This is for people who like fuck with lasers and stuff. But it only puts out 24 volts. We could have made this the power supply for Burn the Subs. It's a little bit bulky, and it probably would have had to have been like a background, because that'll take up like the whole... It's weird that this width is like standard. But yeah, it would have taken up like the whole thing, and it would look really cool. But I'd have to like mount everything to this or put stuff like around it. So maybe we won't use this. Maybe not use the flat pack power supply. 24 volts at 12 amps. This is a 300 watt power supply. There's no way that we would that we'd get anywhere near that amount of current draw on this thing. What we have down here is a little 30 volt, 12 volt power supply that is capable of giving a lot of voltage to the, I think it's 30 volt, hold on. 30 volt, 12 volt, that's able to give the stepper motors a lot of volts. 12 volt, V-adjust, load and neutral. What are the specs on this thing? Output. Oh, 5 volts and 12 volts. Maybe we should use the other one. Maybe we should use this thing. How do we do that? How would we do that? How would we do that? Well, that wouldn't be too difficult to do, to be honest. Previously we were looking for pumps that would be able to get enough water to flow out all the way this distance. Because what's going to happen is I have all of the stuff that controls the laser going all the way out to the axis. So it has to go out, turn around, come back, so that it's what's called a drag chain that's able to carry all the cables to all the locations without having like a loom that folds on itself or droops down or anything like that. I've had the placement of this PSU is very confident. Yeah. I have never had any troubles with getting water into the PSU. I've never, not even once. Not even once. Okay, so flat pack, I was thinking of using, it's 24 volts. We can put a 12 volt regulator for the, well, actually, wait, what is the Raspberry Pi? Is 5 volts, isn't it? Ah, it's a standard IEC. 6297, what a catchy name. It's a standardized width. Well, it's interesting that we kind of like just stumbled on it. Because like everything fits within that width. Although this is a little bit more narrow. The rails are a little bit more narrow. We had to kind of like, I mean, this is a 5 1/4 bay, so everything is about the size of a 5 1/4 bay, huh? It's a little more narrow than that. I do kind of want to use the Vicor power supply for this and have it back here. And then 120 volts goes in there. We have extremely clean and filtered power coming out the other end. It's a lot of it, though. That's a lot of power. I could do it this way, and then the big tabs are up top. But okay, so far, our plan is that we have all of the controls in here. We've got water cooling accoutrements, which this is not even necessary. I think just the volume of water is enough to keep everything cool. Because, again, we're water cooling for the memes. Now that we're water cooling the laser, it at least has something to do. It has some kind of a semblance of a job, right? Power supply, that's a little grody. And then I have, from a clock that my brother made many, many years ago, probably the same year that Crystal Pepsi's from, he made a clock. Wait, no, this isn't that old. This is probably from the early 2000s. When my brother was fooling around with Nixie tubes. Yeah, that's where it's from. So anyway, this is like a nice little glass and wood enclosure piece, which we have mounted with a couple magnets. So that just kind of fits in like that. I like that. I really like that. I think that's a good touch, and it kind of keeps dust off of my electronics. In addition to, I mean, like if we go to this power supply, that pushes everybody up a little bit. Because like, I want it to fit on that spot that I have right next to Burn the Subs. So yeah, this would have to be like sticking out. Now, begs the question, I mean, should I be putting, you want the reservoir to be at the top of the system. That way all the bubbles go to this and they don't, you know, we don't have to shoot water up into this stuff. So, I mean, we got to have the reservoir and the cooling stuff above everything else. I don't know what people expect. You know, mount the power supply like all the way out here, all the way on the top. Now this is also untested, so I could be eating crow about this in a couple weeks when we finally get it together. Now there are big screw holes here and here, and if we make our thing stand off of that, we can then have all the stuff that we've got mount here. And this has a fan on it, so this will blow cool air around in that space when it's operative. Excuse me. Oh, that's the last thing I need is for that chicken sandwich to start fucking destroying me gastrically. Either like that, not really like that. I think we'll go like this. And maybe we invert the whole thing. So yeah, let's do... So this is a departure from our previous plan, but we've got a couple edits to make to this thing too. So if I do it like this, does that line up with the rails? The rails can move at this point, and all bets are kind of off. It looks like it does line up with the rails, yeah. Ooh, no. The rails have to go like 2 millimeters out. It's like 4 millimeters off. Yeah, the wonderful wooden window of wonderment. Okay. Flat pack power supply, upside down, right side up, doesn't matter. If we do it right side up, the 24 volt pins can be under the heatsink a little bit. This stuff unchanged, aside from the fact that it's a little bit of chaos in the back here. Getting the motor like into CAD and making like a bracket for it, a little difficult to do. I can still do it though. This thing mounting to the back of the rails is a little difficult too because of the offset from these. And then I need, because it is barely an offset, so that's going to make it a kind of a pain in the ass to mount. And I could 3D print something to mount it. I could make like a plate that goes behind this. We're just pushing things more further forward. I don't know. I mean, this power supply was enough to power the previous version of this. So if we continue with this power supply, I don't have to change a whole lot, and we're already mostly the way there. The laser is nothing like crazy, right? It's a 2-watt laser. It does not use that much current. This thing is 24 volts at like 1 billion amps. I don't really think I have use for this. Sucks because I got it for real cheap on eBay. Long time ago. Long time ago. Stepper motors really like higher voltages. They're actually very happy with higher voltages. So that's why I'm like, 24 volts, don't mind if I do. But, nah, I think we'll stick with 12 for now, I guess. This thing is looking a little world-weary, but we can continue with it like that. Yeah, I think we'll just continue with what we were doing. Okay, so as it stands, we got the Raspberry Pi, we got a fan behind it. I have a VFD screen, which I think Flatulent Gonad was the one that was pushing for the VFD screen. I have a couple of these lying around, and they're very nice. Hey, what's up, Groovy? Is it 2-watt input or output? I don't know anything about lasers. 2-watt is the light output. Yeah. The amount of current that it takes is going to be like, you know, it's similar but different. Yeah. I forget how many amps that thing drew when we turned it on. Oh, that's right. You like broke your neck during the night. Yeah. Welcome to being an old man. I'm an old man. We established it. I'm 1 million years old. I have Crystal Pepsi and I remember it. I remember Crystal Pepsi. That's how old I am. I'm at an age when things will just start to explode in my body and no longer function. I will literally detonate. Okay, so anyway, the motor controller that we have is very old. This thing is no longer supported. I don't even know what it is. I don't know where it came from. I bought it, I think, on AliExpress, and like nothing. There's no support. There's no schematic. My understanding of this board only comes from our reverse engineering it. It was pretty good, though. I mean, it has an Arduino on it, and then it isolates a lot of the different the external connections. However, we are in an age of 3D printers, And these 3D printers have multiple motor drivers and everything built into one singular circuit board. And so we have here a fairly modern 3D printer controller. This is the Big Tree Tech's Mini E3 version 2. I didn't end up using this for my printer because it is a different form factor and it omits some of the stuff that my 3D printer needed. However, an XY table is a very, very simple thing. It's just an X and a Y, and then there's like a digital signal that goes out to activate the laser. That's it. All the advanced stuff is happening in the Raspberry Pi, where it's going to plan on the inertia of the head and all that stuff in order so that it can properly move through our font, given the instructions, and burn the names onto a block of wood. Now, I'm debating whether or not I want to add a distance sensor to the laser too. I don't think we'll do that initially. I think we'll just leave it the way it is. But it would be cool to be able to have a distance sensor so that we knew we're getting the minimal footprint of our laser burning wood. And that way I don't have to worry about it being level. I do have to worry about it being level. They re-released Crystal Pepsi a few years ago. I vaguely remember it. And I tried it. Tasted like there was some cherry flavoring. Huh. Blue Pepsi. I don't know if I remember the blue Pepsi. I think that came much later on. Never liked Pepsi to begin with. I prefer Pepsi. Like your choice of VFD over LED. Look, this is just what I have. It's just what I have. I would have put the VFD in my keyboard if there was room for it, but I love these things. They're high voltage and they just have a good look to them. Pepsi Blue was 2002. Oh, I was deep in the throes of engineering school at that point. I don't have any culture from that era. I was just doing engineering. That's it. All right, so we'll continue with the plan as it is. I don't think I'm going to need a DB37 connector. I think we might get away with a DB9 even, because we don't have limit switches anymore. This thing is capable of sensing the end limits of the axis by when the motor driver detects a higher current from a stall. So it'll go to the ends and it'll just go bump, and it'll just know that it's hit a bump stop. One thing that plagues my printer, and it might be something that Clipper's doing, I don't like it, is that it disables the end stops. And so when my, and this is something actually that's greatly concerning to me. This is something that's greatly concerning to me, is that my current use of Clipper and Clipper on the 3D printer, because we're going to use Clipper for this and not GRBL. GRBL is what existed inside of this thing. Clipper has been doing something on my 3D printer where it'll home all of the axes. So that's something that happens in automation. You have to home your axes because your homies don't know where they are when you power up. You can turn the machine off and you can take the axis and go blah, 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 move it anywhere you want. And in fact, if you touch it, that'll set everything off and it'll be completely bad. So what you have to do is home your axes. So the way that you would do it in the past is you would have a switch there, and that switch represents a zeroed position on your axis. So you'd move the axis, clicks up against the switch, and now it knows where 0, 0 is. The alternative to this, of course, is either constantly powering your device or having servos or having some kind of a distance sensor that can tell you where the axis is. All that stuff is prohibitively expensive. It's just as easy as just moving something to 0, 0 and hitting a couple switches and wires, right? Very easy to do. So we have that system in Burn the Subs, but these new drivers can just use end stops in order to figure out where the 0 is. So when my printer figures out where 0 is, it moves the axis to the 0 point and it just crashes into the switch, right? Something happened in that. Something is happening in that where periodically it will not get the right position of the x-axis. And so when it goes to print a particular thing that I have on my printer, which is like a run out, it'll go all the way out to the end of the axis, and then the belt starts skipping, which causes damage to my printer. What'll happen is the stepper motor tries to move, and the little cogs of the timing belt will pop out, and it'll scrape them, like machining them away. Brad's drink. I'd have a glass of Brad. So anyway, that's really concerning to me. Burn the Subs cannot do that. I don't know what that is. We're going to have to be careful about that kind of stuff. I'm probably going to make end stops that the axis can crash into. digestive benefits. It's just the caffeine. Okay. Yeah, water-cooled laser, clipper, SKR Mini, version 2, 12-volt power supply, radiator, distribution water blocks that we've had to seal, reservoir. The physical stuff, oh yeah, DB connector, smaller DB connector. How many pins are we going to need out at the axis? Well, we have a lighting, 12-volt ground, 5 volts? No, I think 12-volt goes to that laser control board. TTL laser signal, lighting, 12-volt ground, TTL. Oh, stepper motor. Stepper motor 2? Yeah, we'll do, because that's external. That's 14. No, it's 12, sorry. That's 12 pins. So we could fit it into DB12. Is there anything else external other than 120 volts? I don't think so. I could put the USB socket on. Now, if I need to do USB, I'll pluck this. Yeah, so that's 12 pins, huh? DB12. I don't think I have any DB12, so I'll have to order some. So we'll put a DB12 connector here, and I can just do that with standoffs. So we don't need to plan it in CAD. I can just do this with standoffs over here. DB12 connector, and that'll give me nice solder cups that I can solder to. 37 is out of the question. It's way too many pins. But we could just do that, and then I'll have another DB connector that I could plug in on the other end. I just want this to be able to be moved out and put on the desk. Okay, so with that, I also have 3D models of the SKR board, and so we can go into AutoCAD in my demonstration version of AutoCAD, and we can plan. We can basically just move the stuff here. With the control panel where it is, I guess having the screen in the middle is good, because that's where it's readable. I won't put the screen up top unless I push it way far forward. If I push this way far forward, then it would fit here, and then you could actually see what it's saying. But I'll just put it in the middle there because it's kind of interesting. Yeah. All this stuff exists in my head. That's the problem. We're trying to get this on paper. Pepsin, the enzyme? What the hell? I don't know anything about that. My own copy of Fusion 360, or rather. I don't know. I have a subscription thing. It says subscribe now. There's also an EXE that I think I have to run. That might be what unlocks the software. Why does my window keep moving? I swear I freaking moved this thing a minute ago. Maybe I have more than one open. Nope, just the one. What's this one? Yeah, just the one. Strange. So, yeah, the things that we've designed. The axis itself, the hot end, this is a completely... this is a good model, the one that we've produced here, and I sort of went through all the steps in creating it. We 3D printed all of the mounts now so that everything can screw onto here and be a nice, happy little laser cart, including the timing belt with its little teeth and something to hold the drag chain, which is a part that I made specifically for this. We also have the laser over here, and the laser's got a little water jacket around it. Now, that's not made out of metal. That is something that I've printed, and I've got a couple copies of. Problem is, getting a glass sheen like this, even on PETG, is nigh on impossible. Some people can do it because they've got like crazy equipment and a really nice 3D printer. We don't have that. We're kind of scrappy around here. So what I need to do is figure out a way to seal that 3D print, and that might take the form of some methyl ethyl ketone. This is my drink of choice. No, this is the only angry enough solvent that can actually melt PETG a little bit. And supposedly this stuff is extremely potent. This stuff is bad stuff. So I'll probably mask up at some point, and we'll have like we'll paint our Warhammer figurines here. I'll get a paintbrush and a mask, and put the fan on me, and we'll open up the bottle for as little time as possible and just brush a couple 3D prints with the methyl ethyl ketone and see if we can get water to flow through the printouts, the prints. We'll probably do that on Thursday. Because PETG, even natively from the 3D printer, 3D printing is like layers and layers of plastic. And that plastic is allowed to cool a little bit between layers, because otherwise it would just like collapse, right? So it's allowed to cool a little bit between layers. And so in doing so, there's a little bit of adhesion to the layers, but there's still gaps in that adhesion. So when you fill something with water, especially if the water is under a little bit of pressure, because you bought a 12-volt pump, it leaks. It just bleeds. And I thought for the longest time, you know, the main bleeding was occurring around where I was sealing the hose fittings onto that. Turns out, it turns out that wasn't the primary leak source. The primary leak source was in between layers. And so when we finally got this thing sealed all properly, it was just like sweating when we ran water through it. So we're close. All I need to do is just brush it, and then I think it'll seal properly. But yeah, basically what I've decided to do, and I really hope this chrome holds up to the water that goes through it, because if the chrome starts like rusting and stuff, I'm gonna be annoyed. We're basically just, you know, the laser diode sits in this lower piece here. There's a seam, but the laser diode sits in this metal. This entire backing is just hollow. So, I mean, I guess I could make this a lot smaller and then only have the water go around this piece here. I think it would still be kind of a nightmare though. So I decided to add the entire can to it and just cool all of that. It's basically, this is like just like a metal interface for me to cool with water. This down here is typically like a copper block that the laser diode attaches to, and then it dumps all of its heat out into that. So this might be a little overkill for the cooling, but I think it's still fun. Well, it's not so much I don't know if a heat sink, I guess a heat sink is a heat transfer device. Yeah, I suppose so. It's like a heat exchanger, more like. My feet are falling asleep. Yeah. So this is all done, and I have printouts for all of this. So like we've moved on from this part of the build. And it's nice to have the axis like sort of secured, have it all in reliable designs and shapes and stuff, so that everything is sort of supported and works nicely. I had to make this a little thicker because it kind of flexed a little bit. It was more design than it was engineering. Anyway, that part we have. Last bit of it is just sealing that laser. The part that we've been working on is, of course, the control panel. And when we're done the control panel, then I can at least get everything together. Not having limit switches is very nice. All right, let's let this thing load for a minute. These are big drawings, and a lot of parts and sort of like free-form design has occurred on them. And with Fusion 360, that kind of starts to bog it down a little bit. At a certain point, it helps to do lots of sub-assemblies, and even beyond that, it helps to do like to very carefully control your timeline. If you can see, yeah, you can see down there at the bottom, I have a point in time when I import all the stuff, all of the other assemblies, all the parts over here that make up my design, I'll import in their own little block, and then I'll put them all together so that you can collapse it. And then from there, I will design all of the rest of the stuff that needs solids to staple it all together. Now, when my trial runs out, if I no longer have my educational copy, when my trial runs out, we will then have to learn how to do that, but I think with fewer active documents. It's a section analysis. Hold on, what am I looking for? Where are the bodies? He asks casually. Document setting names view origin analysis. What the fuck? Why are the... Oh, I see. Because the timeline's been rewound to this point. I go all the way to the end. Now I have the bodies. That's where I designed all the solids. Okay. One warnings. FET number 9. Wait, why is that moved over here? What happened to my document? It looks like this... It looks like this backpedaled quite a bit. Oh, I guess I decided to move the screen up to the top, huh? Whoa, buddy, what's going on there? Oh, a conflict in the openings, I see. So with Fusion 360, the way that this works is that what you do in order to create all of your stuff is do a sketch and then you extrude. You basically make a solid out of that sketch. And what's important to that sketch, and I'll open up a sketch here, what's important to that sketch are the enclosed spaces within it. The enclosed spaces within that sketch define what is extruded, basically. So I have a sketch here for the plate, and if I unview, if I put all this stuff out of the way, that sketch and the closed off areas of that are what define what makes up the solid objects in your design. When you change the locations of those things, for instance, moving the screen to the top, moved, I believe, this oval opening, and it created different spaces right here. And in doing so, there's a bit of a conflict in what was extruded. The software doesn't exactly know how to handle that. It should have been okay, but I guess the chamfer here would have collided with the edge, and so that's why this step over here breaks. And you can fix all that stuff. It's all fixable. How do I want to fix that, though? I kind of want to move this back. The oval opening should be like midway down here. And this right here, what is that? Is that a body? It isn't. Oh, I just didn't, did I not? Yeah, I just didn't click it. Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to move the oval opening all the way down here. Oh, well, this is where it's supposed to be, actually. I want to move it back to where it's supposed to be, it looks like. Oh, and it looks like there are other features that were avoided by my... So this crisscross stuff is generated by a different program. Or it's by a user-created program within this one. And it creates infill patterns. And I just kind of liked the way this looked in the translucent. It was sort of a cool little pattern, but it looks like I might have to regenerate the entire pattern in order to run this again. Or extrude it differently, because all the triangles are still there. Yeah, all the triangles are still there. Or not. Why are there only a couple? When did this happen? Who did this? Combine one. Oh, base feature. Yeah, so I guess it must have been like the last thing that I did. Oh boy, this drawing needs a little bit of cleanup, huh? There might be a component limit. Oh boy, that's annoying. Yeah, a component limit would really dampen my spirit. All right, so I need to get rid of the cross-hatching feature because that's going to interfere with what we're doing. Our goal right now is to go into these drawings, put in the new motor driver, and then I guess just plan around it because there's like a bunch of standoffs on this thing that are all in weird places. As far as I know, I think we imported a new driver board. What is this? Oh yeah, BTT SKR Mini E3. Okay, yeah, that's there. As long as it's in the same file, it doesn't count towards your 10 active files. That's bad because I've got all of these separate files. I guess one of the ways that people get around it is by having a file of components. But I was hoping, oh boy, that's going to change the way that I do stuff pretty intensely. But I guess you can archive these. Can you pull archived parts into your drawing? Into your active drawing? I think you can. So I think if you put parts in and then archive them, I think that can get around it. I'm not certain about that. I think Shortlurker knows all that stuff. I gotta run that exe that they sent me. Maybe that'll activate my copy. I hope it does. I was able to skirt around all this crap. All right, so first off, we need to get rid of this stuff. What is this one? What does that extrude? I think that's where I actually cut out the pattern. Okay, that didn't affect anything. That affected nothing. Control Z. I don't know what that is. It's like something on the surface? What if I get rid of it? What's going on the surface here? Absolutely nothing. Okay. Does it have to do with these? No, those look the same. What is it doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, well, fine. That's fine. All right, well, let's get rid of the pattern then. Delete that. Then we've got those, and then the ones inside of it will get fixed when we fix the sketch. So there's the plate drawing. Now, when you go into the plate drawing, it rewinds time to when you made the sketch, so. And then, okay, so the square hole and the oval hole. The oval hole is for the electronics, and for some reason I'm measuring it from this corner, which is silly, but, oh no, this one I'm measuring from this corner. Where's this one? This one is coming off of something? What is that based on? Where are my lines here? That is attached to that post. Why would I do that? Why did I do that, chat? Why did I do that? What's wrong with me? Also, where am I getting my outer edges from? These are just like features that I'm cutting into this thing. Okay, so let's see. Where is this coming from? Why did that move with the screen, though? That's what I'm wondering. Those are there. This one. Is there a square coming off of it? No, that's not what that is. Well, if I grab this... Oh, there it is. 10 millimeter from what? 8 millimeter there. 10 millimeter, yeah, there. 10 millimeter from this line, which is in conflict with this. That one is for below. This one's for above. Oh my god. This like messed up the drawing, huh? Moving the screen. I think I should move it back. I think I should move the screen back so that it's at the middle. Maybe that's something that I should do, because that'll fix my drawing. I don't think I have Control Z ability, but if I take this all the way back... Oh wait, finish the sketch first of all. Yeah, because like that is going to be a nightmare. That's a total nightmare. Okay, let's pull it back a little bit here. That one's the SKR Mini. Okay, so let's pull back time. Actually, wait. We can click on this step. This is position 1, so this is before I made any of the bodies. But this is... So what I do, I import all my components, right? Import all the components, and then you can lock them in position. And that's what you should do, so that you can double-click that step. Our timeline automatically goes back to that step. Now we can rearrange all the stuff, and then all the things that we've done in regards to the position of all those components can get redone kind of like an algorithm. So that if I move stuff around with minimal error, there's still a bunch of error, you know, where those solid filled pieces overlap. A little bit of error in that. But as, you know, if we need to edit stuff, we can. And sometimes it works out so well that we don't need to mess around with stuff. Sometimes. So we've got the SKR Mini. We do not have the Gerbil board. We just need to put this stuff into position, and I guess we'll move the Raspberry Pi up to where it was, which I don't really know exactly where it was, but Fusion 360 is such a super powerful tool. I'm sure that even experts in that tool learn something new every once in a while. I hope they do, and I hope they do for my stream too, because technically I'm an educator according to the license that I used to have. I don't think Fusion would believe me. Let's make our circuit boards on an even level, but I'd still... Should I push the screen forward, all the way forward? And it's causing me a lot of problems, but if we get around the problems, then I've got the screen up top where you expect it to be. The look of everything is a little weird, though. I mean, it would be better if the screen was the very top of the entire board. I put the reservoir up there because that's good design, right? I don't want bubbles to filter all the way up to the things that are being cooled, you know, during when the pump isn't online. Pump's going to be on demand. The pump will basically turn on when Burn the Subs does stuff. It's not going to be a permanently on thing. So, I don't know. I don't think about that. Not video on demand. It would be a WOD, water on demand. I mean, I like the case and I want to make it look good. Water. We have water on demand. Yeah. So I won't be able to get to any of the screw terminals like this unless I flip it around the other way. Having everything go to the DV connector, though, I mean, I could desolder these. Yeah, this is the control box for Burn the Subs. Vatten in Swedish. Ah, yes. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the tolerance, you know, everything's pretty tightly packed in here. It is sort of very fancy and on display. This is too tall. The box itself is too tall. You can cross-reference read-only non-editable files in Fusion 360. That's good. That's the way I'm going to have to do it then. If that's the case, I'll have to make like a parts archive, an archive like 150 parts, or like 300 parts that I have in this software. That's if my license expires. I gotta run that weird-ass exe and see if it unlocks. It's probably just gonna turn my computer into a Bitcoin miner. For all the fucks I give. I'm back and forth on this, chat. I don't know if I want to like do something crazy. I want to go a little crazy sometimes. If I want to like move the radiator and the box up, or if, man, I'm having a lot of doubts today. I'm like not in a good I'm not in a good confidence state right now. It's been kind of a rough Monday. Yet not a virus.exe. Just buy a license. Yeah, it's only $350 a month. What is, hold on. They've been jiggling around all of their costs. Fusion 360 cost per month. Blah, blah, blah. Monthly subscription. If you have monthly, annual, and 3-year terms, need meet your needs is below. Monthly is $60 a month, which isn't terrible, which is $1,335 for a 3-year subscription. Annual $490, so $500 a year. I don't know, that's actually not terrible. They bump it to 600. Ugh. If I were making any money off of the software, which kind of making money off of the software. All right, so I got to figure out the position of everything. I kind of do want it to look like this, which means that I'll probably have to reinvent a lot of where the hole placements are. I think I need to flip this board 360 and then make sure that it's centered. We got this model specifically because we know where all the holes are in it. What's the orientation of the text on this board? Oh, so yeah, if we do it this way, then this is the way that it needs to go in order to have the text be right side up on the PCB. And that puts the 4 motor drivers up top and nearby the Raspberry Pi. Now, the 4 motor drivers, really technically I should be putting the heat sinks on the back of this. The heat sinks should be back here. And I could do that with tape, I guess. And then run pipes to all of that. Run hoses to all of that stuff. Although it would be more fun if it was up top. And should I run it in series? Probably. Although the Alpha Cool has these little splitters that I use. But then again, I could also get rid of these splitters and have it be a little bit more compact. Uh-oh, my glass. I gotta be really careful with the glass because I only have one of those things. Only have one thing of glass. Because, yeah, we're using 4 of the 5 hookups to these distribution blocks to have everything in parallel, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal if I do it in series, and that way I could have the long run and then just one set of hoses coming off of the other one, and it wouldn't be as busy with all the rubber back here. Yeah. Jeez, I should have it block that. Anything with .exe on the end. I can't believe you get away with typing that into chat. If I do it in series, there's a little loop there. A loop around that. This is like, I forgot about this facet of this part of the design, is that I don't have any confidence about anything that I'm doing. And this is a very tightly packed little center of stuff. I mean, the screen is just for fun. We may need to get a connection from like an actual USB cable from the Raspberry Pi to the clipper, because I don't think this has USB outputs. Let me take a look at the SKR's outputs here. So that would be bring this window over here. This is welcome to engineering, right? Pin out. It's like when we get into like real engineering on this channel, we are cross-referencing pinouts with pinouts with pinouts with pinouts. It's insane. I guess this thing has RGB control if we want to build that into Clipper. Z-probe, NeoPixel, USB card slot. There's like a, here we go. That's what I want. I want the real pin. Oh, it looks like we've already had this open because I've zoomed into it. We do have 2 extra channels on this thing. We could think about doing a... Well, I don't have the hardware to do this separate camera axis because I wanted that, but... UART and SPI. Man! Give me USB pins, you jerks. Why do they... So many designs do this now, and it's really frustrating to me, is that they put a USB socket on their thing, and they make you use a USB cable in order to interface with it. So we'll have to use a USB cable. I do have some like little breakouts for that type of mini USB, but it's like PA12 and PA11 are the D- and D+ pads. Where's that? I don't see that anywhere around. Ground, 5-volt out, NeoPixel power. PA12 and 11. Are they test points? Meow. Bring you guys back over here. Here we go. I ain't seen no PA12 and 11. What about the other side of the board? Miso, serial clock, reset, bunch of other shit. PA8. Oh, is that all the way on like a big header? No, there is no big header on this one. PA12 and 11. 15. 215. Wait. Huh? PB. Oh, PA15, PB15. Tricksy. Tricky. PA12 and 11. PC. Power ground. TX and RX. I don't know what those are for. PA8. Yeah, it's just not anywhere. I don't know why it's called out like that. This is when I would like to use have a schematic using the Flex BV. I don't even know what the hell that is. I don't know what that is. I just do an MS Paint document. Did you get your keyboard working? Yeah, I've been using it for 4 days. The comma key is a little bit weird, and that's something I have to investigate. I've been doing, all of my tweets as of late have been VN. Look at that. All of my tweets as of late have been in regards to the keyboard. It's been working. The comma key is a little bit weird. I need to come up with the screen. The screen's going to be a comprehensive part of programming that thing. and then investigate why I'm double tapping comma whenever I hit the comma key. Probably has to do with the keyboard map and the muxes, but yeah. It's actually not the pins of the microcontroller. Thank you very much. It is PA and PB are in regards to the banks of pins. So it's PA is a bank of pins. PB is a bank of pins. It's typically done in like 4 or 8 because they represent memory locations within that microcontroller. It says open source. You should find a PCB layout. Well, it's I mean, yeah, but no, I don't need to. I don't need to. Are you guys trying to teach me things that I already know? FlexBV, imagine your PDF allowing you to find the silkscreen label, but also connections from that pin. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, Rossman has some very professional tools that I don't use. I have some Rossman tools here because chat bought them for me as a joke. Anyway, so PA12 and PA11 are references to pins directly on the microcontroller. Now, while I could solder to the banks of pins, I'm not going to do that. We'll just put a connector in there. One of the considerations on a design like this is that I do things modularly, and that modular nature is a whole systems engineering thing. If something goes wrong, I want to be able to just swap out hardware. That's kind of important because sometimes Raspberry Pis just die. They just die. They just stop working. I had one in Burn the Subs just go, and then just stop working. It just went, and done. Just gone. And I had to run to Micro Center and buy another one. I happened to be within driving distance of Micro Center, which is nice. I was able to just go there and buy a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. This is before they became ridiculously rare. But yeah, so, okay. I guess these were things that we thought about last time I did this, is moving all of this stuff within the enclosure. And although this is going to be a difficult thing to work around, it is still possible to work around. So what's funny is I could actually do wire wrapping in order to connect pins to stuff. I don't know if I'll end up doing that. We'll see where we'll see where things end up. So yeah, all of the broken stuff I guess we have to fix in this drawing. I mean, I guess it's good that I got rid of the infill thing. I'll have to make another infill thing and then just determine what to do with that. Let's lift our Raspberry Pi so that it is even with our SKR board. Even though I don't know how much that's really going to affect things. Actually, wait, the SKR board should be even with the Pi. Because I think I based the height off of standoffs. So inspect top of the board. Make sure that we're not just choosing components. 5 millimeters. Man, why the discombobulation? So I'm just going to move that down 5 millimeters then. We'll have to figure out where those standoffs go so that they're not interfering with other pin locations. So we'll move this. So we're still within the move step. Now, these components sometimes screw with you. They're sometimes kind of unfair to work with. They're kind of horrible in that they will, when you move the PCB, none of the pins and chips and stuff will move with it. Which is really annoying. And the way to get around that is not by just clicking on it in the move command. Instead, going to the component itself in this tree to the left, finding your thing, and then just going to move from there. Or you could make it into a solid part, but you know, whatever, fine, this is fine. So I want to move it upwards 5 millimeters. So I'm just going to move it like that and then just punch in 5. So that should mean that our two PCBs are now even with one another. Now that's based on standoff height, because I'm using standoffs. I'm not 3D printing something that's going to reach those components. Should I move this stuff further upwards? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter right now. What I should do is design an entire hat for the Raspberry Pi that will have all the right connectors on it. But I think with Clipper, it's just USB to the motor controller board, and then the motor controller board from there has to branch out to everything. And I'll probably have to desolder the big heavy connectors. The only one that I mean, power in, we don't have like a hot end. We're just gonna have a digital signal that runs out to the, what are those? What are What are those things? Power, a big power, little power. Oh, the bed and the hot end and an alternate power. So actually we're pretty good about that. I mean, we're going to have 12 to 24 volts coming in on the side here with this big power connector, but that one is facing the direction where we can fit stuff. Okay, cool. Well, we don't have heaters on this. This is a laser board. We're going to need... I don't even know what we're going to need. I don't think it's connected to the bed. Really, we could probably use, if we really get into the code, we could probably use any of these general purpose outputs as the laser. I'm sure it's going to want to use something like the big MOSFET, but we don't need that because we have a board on our laser that's going to worry about that. We could probably, in Clipper, I think we can reassign it to be what we need it to be. So it could be any of these connectors. We could even use fan if we want to. What the hell's going on upstairs? Jesus Christ. Cool. All right. Okay, so that means that our placement like this is not the end of the world. That'll actually work. It's just going to be annoying to get the top cover on and off of this thing. That's just going to be kind of annoying. Yes, percussive. It must fit. Let's look at this in ortho mode, just so that I know what if my distances have been set. It's been a little while since we've actually... Wait, it didn't even... Oh yeah, we gotta do that there. So in orthographic mode, it flattens everything so that we can tell what the distances are in one dimension. If you have ortho mode on and you try to view stuff like this, it gets a little weird because that's not what something that you're looking at in 3 dimensions should look like. That's it's a little disorienting, and for some reason the program prefers ortho mode. But there's also a view mode that does both. So perspective with ortho faces, so that if you go into a direct mode, you can see it without the distortion of perspective. I mean, they distort it, but it's without that specific. Anyway, whatever. You can look up ortho mode on your own, learn how it works. I could tuck the Raspberry Pi under a little bit and give us just a little bit more room. If I move that down and then just tuck it in like a millimeter or something, because it's not going to be plugged into Ethernet. It uses wireless. One of the program things that I was thinking about changing was that I potentially could... Oh yeah, I got to move it this way. I potentially could make Node Red, which is it's like a Raspberry Pi kind of thing that I have in the shop. It's what's controlling my lamp. I could potentially use Node Red to send names to this Raspberry Pi. So Node Red would get on the Twitch API and manage all of that stuff so that I would have a different interface if, for instance, the credentials expired, which happens periodically to these bots. I could put the fart box on it, and then I could also put like other interactive layers for you guys on that. That's something that I've been meaning to do, and maybe this can force me to do it. So that overlaps a little bit. Is that sloppy? It is a little sloppy, isn't it? Yeah, I would like to give you guys more stuff, you know, more interactive stuff. I think we need to leave it like this. I think we need to leave it like this. I think I came up with these solutions a while ago. I think we need to fix our drawing. I'll have to find really, really long standoffs in order to hold the screen all the way up there, too. Because, you know, when you design parts like this, you got to think about the 3D print. And thinking about the 3D print, I am thinking about having it a flat surface somewhere on the 3D print, because I don't like to use a lot of support structure. That support structure with PETG, which is the particular type of filament that I use, it's the same soda bottle plastic, basically. Yeah, there's a sharp edge. Soda bottle plastic, right? With PETG, I can print very hot and without a cooling fan. I don't have a cooling fan on my printer. The mount for it broke off. So I can print this soda bottle plastic and create extremely strong 3D prints that work very functionally as brackets and stuff like that. And I can do it moderately fast and, you know, with fairly little pain. But if I use support structure, it very often leads to a very rough surface that was supported, and it's difficult to break off. I've gotten it to a point where it can kind of break off, but there's still so much broken about it. So I, for the life of me, I avoid support structure. I don't even know what ASA is. American Society for Alzheimer's. Am I a member of that? I don't remember. But yeah, no. So anyway, I print with PETG, so I don't use support structure. So I got to think of there being a completely flat surface on the bottom of this thing, and then I'll just use standoffs, or I could, you know, print my own. Sounds like the old days of supports. Look, I haven't spent a lot of time to tune that printer. I got it in very good working shape, and then I just kind of use it from there. So UV resistant ABS. Oh, okay. That's relatively new, isn't it? Didn't maybe somebody else was thinking of messing with it. I have a PETG car part that actually I printed for a friend of mine. It's in his truck. So I'm like, I hope that survives the summer. So far, so good. It's holding up his Android head unit. All these big Apple fans who are diehard Apple users, Apple's better, are using Android in their cars now. I had a friend call me. How do I close apps? I have no idea. How do I do it? I don't know. I'm like, swipe it to the left. And then I haven't heard from him since. Index C, subbing for 17 months. Index C, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I somehow ended up with a spool of ASA in my pile of PLA. Huh. I don't know if I'll do the super high supports on this. Maybe I should. And then I could print something that screws into the top, like something that screws into the bottom layer there that would support it at that height. If I don't have standoffs that are that distance, I could just extrude something from here and make it a separate part. I suppose I could do that. Okay, so anyway, moving on from there, we have the position of all of our stuff, and we have all of the things that I've done in order to design around that, but all of the surface, like all of the openings and stuff are all messed up. All of my dimensions, not dimensions, but all the placement of things. So we got to correct that in kind. So let's finish the position thing. And now those positions are locked in for the rest of the steps that this thing does. And we've got a warning here because there's a chamfer that can't exist as it is. Now that will be solved when we move this stuff around. Now this right here, this opening is for tubes. This one is for wires, and it was conveniently positioned, I guess, below the screen. So when I moved the screen, this element in the sketch moved as well. I don't want that hole to be there. I want it to be all the way down here. Oh yeah, and then also the things that hold up the rest of this design. These things here, these little posts. I can move that. So let's move those. I guess inboard a little bit more. Well, we could move it up too. No, but then it blocks that hole. It needs to be away from that. I don't know if that fits in the middle. It'd be kind of awkward to have it down here though, wouldn't it? And I have like 16 different mounts right there. One is for a magnet, and I guess that's all fucked up. Oh, boy. This is getting complicated, guys. Yeah, that's supposed to be to insert a magnet so that it can stick to the other layer. Oh, maybe that was that step that I deleted. Yeah, I think it was. Huh, neat. Why is that over there? Oh, wow. This is all kinds of screwed. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Yeah, that's what that step was, that little extrusion step that I couldn't find earlier. That was creating a front panel, or like a front piece of plastic for the magnets, which I don't even know if that should exist, because the magnets are very weak right now through the plastic. So if I just have them directly, if I put the magnet all the way through that and then glue it, maybe that'll work out better. So yeah, we need to fix where this is. This needs to be like way down here, and then we need to move the posts. The posts can't interfere with the other stuff. They also don't have to be that size. They could be a little less tall. So I'm going to have to reduce that size and then move it somewhere. Let's do the posts first. Go to the drawing and then unview all of the stuff that I have in view. Okay, now we can get to it. So that post is located here. And then that's the square hole. Square hole can stay. That can stay there. I actually want to move it up a little bit, to be honest. What if I do 30? Oh, less than 30. Why did 15 made it look like it went outside of the whole thing? Ah, 25. Take it or leave it. Oh boy, that's directly in line with that one. So what happened there? Let's see. Oh wait, you know what? I need to move it away first. We'll just keep it right there. Keep it right there, and then I need to find what is placing this thing. We were looking at that earlier. There has to be a dimension here somewhere. It's 10 off of what? The center of this? No. 10 off of the screen. So that is designed to be directly under the screen. So I guess we'll just get rid of this right here, this little attachment point. Oh no, wait, I need to remove the constraint. Delete. Then we can get rid of the 10. And now this is free. Yeah, square hole, round peg. Oh no! Okay, all right. Okay, what? What? What is happening? Oh! What the okay, Control Z. And then we'll do that again. Let's just undo it until this thing locks into place. Something horrible happened there when I unconstrained the midpoint. How about now? Why are you rotating? Why? Why are you rotating? Why? Why are you... Control Z. Let's unconstrain that midpoint, maybe? Don't you do it. Okay, it's not rotating. It finally has that that individual constraint there. We have not figured out where any of the SKR's holes are, so I am actually going to leave this here. I'm going to leave that there, and now we need to actually project the holes of the SKR through this board. Now, there are leftover holes, and I think it's these 4. These are from the other board. Now we're using 2.2, and then what's that outer one? 2.2 and what? It doesn't say. Well, we'll measure it. Oh, it's 2.2 inside of that, I believe. Why would I go inside, not outside? Because these should have been... These should be slip fit and not... Because I would... So the hole as it exists, the holes in the actual board... Maybe the holes on the board are probably a lot wider than they need to be, because usually they want a very loose fit with your screw, right? So the screw presses in on it, right? For this, I am screwing to standoffs, and I have a particularly sized bolt that I'm using. So I guess that's probably what the deal is. I projected the holes in the PCB onto the sketch, and then I made the size of the hole that I needed for M2 screws, so 2 millimeters, and then I space it out by plus 0.2 so that the threads of the screw do not bite in on my 3D print. Now, 2.2 that's going to be a very tight fit. That might bite a little bit, but when you start to tighten it down, it'll of course become nice and loose. However, if I wanted the screw to bite in, I would have gone minus 0.2. So it's if you do exactly the size, that will end up being a screw fit that is easy to strip. If you do 0.2 plus, that will be a relatively loose fit. You could press the screw in and maybe it won't fall out. If you do minus 2, the threads are going to bite in and you will be able to tighten the screw to the degree where, you know, you can be a little confident in its holding ability. If you over tighten, obviously you're gonna strip the plastic because it's plastic. But yeah, that's generally how I work. If I really want to fit where I think I'm gonna break the cap off of the screw, I will go below minus 0.2, but generally not. I generally don't do that because you can also overpressure your design and have it explode with the pressure that the screw is trying to push out on the plastic. So yeah, and then in PCBs, of course, they're way oversized because that's just, you know, it's just polite. So anyway, let's just get rid of the 4 that represent this board. What is that one? What is this? Why are there weird holes in my design? What's going on here? Oh, that's not a Raspberry Pi. Where's my Raspberry Pi? Hold on. Those are the 4 holes, or the 4 weirdly positioned holes for the Pi. All right, that is unfortunate. How do we work around that? I mean, we can move the Pi over to the side. That's just going to make it harder for me to plug USB into it. Or I can move the fan up. Why are there 4 things here? What is that? Why is it a square? I don't know why any of this stuff is like this. Why are you like this? Oh yeah, that's right, because I can move the physical device up a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna move the fan upwards. Go to this, and then I need to see my fan. A little 40mm fan. This is somebody else's stuff, but God, did anybody else see the NVIDIA presentation? Because, man, they sure like to talk about their verse. Everything is a verse now. Oh, yeah, we got plenty of room going upwards. Plenty of room going upwards. Let's take a look at the Raspberry Pi in ortho mode. Just make sure that... Okay, we need to move up a little further. Yeah, maybe another couple millimeters. Okay. I love how NVIDIA is so confident that their 3D models are like the best 3D models. Like that every engineer and designer is going to need exactly the same type of 3D model. No pad for the USB data. It goes straight to the USB port. Man, you know, like the Pico Pi did that too, and it's really pissing me off. Because, like, people like to make things that have USB connections directly into the microcontroller, right? That's not a totally weird thing. That's not a weird thing. But these people designing these boards, they don't give us, like, test pads or anything. I guess the Pico Pi has test pads. I wasn't going to use them. But I wish they run it to, like, something, you know? All right, finish the position. Now all those locations are now in my sketch. And I can go back into the sketch. There we go. So we've got a little bit of the 5.5 radius. I don't know which one's going to override who, but at least I can get that standoff in there. Wait a minute. But the fan goes on the inside of the enclosure. So actually, I need... what is the 5.5 pretend radius doing? Is that for my standoff? Those aren't 5mm. What is the size of that? Oh, I don't really know. But I can move this up a little further, I guess. What does that do to the design? Not much. Okay, I'm gonna move it. I opt to move it up more because the standoff isn't gonna fit next to the fan. It needs to be able to fit a standoff in there. So I gotta move this up even further. Or I could move it to the side. We could have an asymmetrical fan location. Yeah, let's move it. Let's move it down here. Let's put it right up. I'm gonna watch out for that. Well, okay, what's the distance between these two? Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, I'm gonna need an XYZ delta on that, thank you. 10, so we're gonna move it like 20 millimeters. Let's try it. We'll try it. This is why we use software. Noctua, move copy. $25. 20. I think 20 is probably good. We'll have a little offset fan. Wait, did that not? Hold on, I gotta unplug my fart box and then plug it back in. Man, the weird things you say on Twitch, you know? I had router issues today. The issue being that my router is an Asus of a particular year. If this stream goes down, that means that my gaffer's tape that I put on the router has failed. I have a screw and a piece of gaffer's tape on the power button to my router because the power button failed. It was one of those, whatever, those mechanisms that it's got a little pin that is supposed to like, because you're supposed to push the button and it stays in, and it stopped staying in. So I lost internet at one point when the gaffer's tape slipped. So I put another piece of gaffer's tape in there and taped over it. And now my router's powered on. CVEs, what's that? What do you people do? What have I led you down? What kind of a weird goose chase? All right, so that's gonna get all of our standoffs out of the way, I hope. Yeah, that'll be out of the way. That should be out of the way is what I should say here. I could always put the fan on the other side. There's plenty of room, but you know, whatever. We've got plenty of vertical space in this case, so I might as well use it. Okay, finish that position. And now everything's broken. Nope, that's good. Okay, cool. I got plenty of room, plenty of room. And the fan's still nearby the Raspberry Pi, which is a sort of the primary purpose of this fan. This fan is going to be doing 24/7 duty, unfortunately. And I don't know whether or not I will be PWM controlling it. It might just be flat out for the duration. Of course, we designed a little opening there because the airflow is basically going to be in here and then out there. Vulnerabilities. We're too weird for vulnerabilities. We are too obscure. My mini fridge fan runs full voltage forever and it's fine. I don't know if that's a good example. I'm not sure. Mahalo. Subbed for 37 months. Just like this, but with smoke and lasers. Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mahalo. I really appreciate you subbing. And occasionally sending me something I didn't ask for. Like, wait, what is this thing in the mail? Oh, you had it on a list. I was like, oh, thank you. All right, so we got to make this hole basically in the center of that, but to be in a like a reasonable location. I think. Nah, it's not gonna fit. We're gonna make these posts a little bit more narrow. They don't need to be this wide. I just did that as like a design thing. I just thought it would look cool. It doesn't need to be like that. It can be a little more narrow than that. I just need to make sure that all these little holes do justice for this design, you know? I think we could just move this set up a little bit and just make it more narrow, and I think we'll be okay. Because, like, yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's first go into the sketch. This is what Burn the Subs entails at this point in terms of the design. What is locating you? What are you based on? You based on like a midpoint? What are you? A distance from center that's mirrored? Oh, God. I used mirrors. Why did I use mirrors? All right. Well, you're now 20. So are you. Where's your dimension? You're hidden in the wood. I can't get to it. And then your distance is now 60, 70. Damn it. Oh, double damn it. 6-5. Decent, 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 decent. Okay, so that doesn't really plan. I can make this a little wider, actually. I'd rather they be wider than have these weird open spaces in here. Yeah, I'll make them a little taller so that they do what this one does and basically just join up as one big amalgamation that's screaming, "Kill me, please let me die." And you say, "No, this is science." Actually, wait, how big is the cap head on that, though? I don't know how big the cap head is. I mean, I can just look. Oh, it's got like a bolt from the top. Those are... Okay, the cap heads are a little smaller than that. I think what I need to do, though, is bridge this, and then I'll include it in another step. I'll do what I did over here, which for some reason I only did over there. Yeah, I got to do a bunch of stuff like that, don't I? Well, actually, let's figure out where the SKR Mini's mounting holes are, because that's going to interfere with our vent down here. That's the unfortunate part. It's going to interfere with our vent by virtue of the fact that they're in crazy spots on the SKR. So let us go to the sketch again. Well, if you think about the way that I'm doing this right now, I don't really have this in my imagination. I'm reacting to problems that need solving at various stages of building this. So it's not really, I don't have like a perfect picture in my head. The CAD is helping me create that perfect picture based on the physical properties that I've put into it, basically. So I don't have much of an idea of what's going on. I had to figure that out, and then, oh, this is a problem, but this is a problem, but this is a problem, but this is a problem. And then we had to go from there. So it's, a thinking computer, a learning machine. I am the AI in this system, but apparently NVIDIA, with their perfect 3D models that'll work both for a kid trying to put a cabinet like in their room without it hitting the door, and like a super duper professional. God, it kills me, man. NVIDIA seems to think that their 3D models will work for every single purpose. But yeah, I am the AI, but I think NVIDIA is going to get rid of me. I think the 4090 has an oh bother module in it or something. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to project the holes onto our drawing. So thankfully, due to the timeline, our BTT SKR Mini version 2 is already in here. Yep, we're already fucked. Well, we just won't project that hole in. So what I'm going to do is just go P for project. Give me that. That one, and I guess fuck this hole. Or wait, no, am I allowed to say that on Twitch? I don't think I am. Anyway, we'll only do 4 holes. I guess when I plug cords in and stuff, there'll be weird stresses on the circuit board. It'll be like cantilevering on these connectors over here. Far be it from me to judge. So now they got these holes, I'll do the same thing and make little 2.2 circles on them. Pop, pop, pop. Pop. Same size screws, we don't really need to rock the boat. And I'll change where that hole is too. We should just put that like, just put it any old location. We could just put it under the USB slots or something. Oh, I just locked it into the midpoint. All right, whatever. Locked into the midpoint. Future me can deal with that one. Fucking jerk off. 2.2. And again, I'm starting to burn out, chat, so we might do a week of my summer car. I'm not sure. If I feel a little better going forward. You know, the more I stream, the more I it seems like the less anxiety I have about everything, but And the more work we get done on Burn the Subs, the better I feel as well. So we'll just play it by ear, but... Okay, so how did I do the rest of the stuff? Those are the wrong brackets. We are looking at this grouping here. So we did a shell operation. So when I extrude, what did I extrude? What did I even extrude here? I don't understand this. Is this part of like a different thing? That's that sketch. Those are the rails. Anonymous gifter gave Burn Baby Burn a tier 1 sub. Hell yeah. BTS, by the way, the acronym that I used in the title is Burn the Subs. That's what this is. This is a subscriber-powered wood etching Raspberry Pi using burning machine. So we're working on the control panel right now. Control panel's not all there is to this. There's a lot of code. I don't know where the solid came from. I think it magically appeared in this drawing out of nowhere. What up, Copper? I mentioned you earlier because in the intro I was using Katamari Damacy music. Katamari Damacy. Na 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 na. Anyway. Just got it stuck in my head. You did this. You did this to me. Where does this solid come from? As far as I know, from here. Oh, okay. So it's this step. I think. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hold on, we can rewind the timeline. It'll make more sense. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I need to unselect the things here. I think. What is this step? Oh, okay, so I'm making the holes here. I got it. Nope. I fucked it up. I already fucked it up. Where's my sketch surface? Is it here? Yeah. Why red? Why is that in red? Oh, I'm not... okay, yeah, edit this step. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's how we're doing it. So where are the holes that I need? It's that one, this one, over here. See, if you do all this stuff right, if you do all this stuff the way that Fusion wants you to do it, then your drawing, your whole design, sorry, should be capable of being manipulated. So you can move this stuff around and it will, everything will happen in kind in order to sort of algorithmically create your part. It takes a lot of effort to get it there, though. It's sometimes kind of frustrating. What is this? This would be, it's a kitty. Oh, so these videos have been freaking me out lately, and I think a lot of those AI filters that they have in phones now are doing this thing where they make the cat's eyes larger. Because if you think about, like, maybe not specifically that one, but probably, like a lot of these kitty videos where you've got like a kitten have like these huge like Pixar cat eyes, right? They don't fit in the cat. And like there was this one that has like human eyes on a cat. It was creepy. Apparently it's a thing though that people are doing with like these weirdo photo manipulation programs that they have now. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I think we've moved the elements that I've needed to move, and we've freed up some of the stuff that's need freeing up. This is a little tight right here, but I can still get the bolt through there. It's a question of whether or not the standoff actually collides with the magnet. I don't have much of a choice about the positioning of the magnet. It's just something that I glued to the corner of the, what do you call it? To the corner of the wooden enclosure. So I'm just going to have to work with it, I guess. And then I need to draw a bridge between these so that I can create a solid in these areas. And I'll do that in the same step that I do it over here. Let's go back to the drawing before I forget what I'm doing. What did I do over here in order to bridge it? Nothing. How did I do that? What did I do? What did I do? Okay, let's look at the steps then. Walk through it. Walk through the steps. So, we create the, whatever it is, the radius there. That's the shell operation. I could just keep it like that, but then I need to make a block on the back of it. Does that go? Oh yeah, I see, okay. Block on the back of it. Then, whatever the hell that was. What was that? Oh, I offset the face. I see. Huh? Oh, I took the whole thing. Oh, that's a little weird. Let's not do that. How about we don't do that? How about we don't do the offset face? I'm gonna delete that step. Oh, dear God. Yeah, let's not do that. Delete. Delete it. What was that one? That one was the slats. Then the border for the slats. And then I soften up a lot of the edges. And some of them are just incorporating these things together. I could leave these like this. They would be okay. They don't really need to attach to the outer radius. All right, Copper. Good luck. Good luck with the school thing. Do I want those to attach, or I could just keep them as being kind of awkward? I think it's okay if they're kind of awkward. It's okay to be awkward, chat. It's okay. Yeah, keep it awkward. Who cares? So, all right. That's all that stuff. The next thing that I did in the process of doing this was create an infill pattern. So I created an infill pattern with a plug-in tool that apparently I got somewhere on GitHub. Let me see if I can find it again so I can show you guys. So it's going to be Fusion 360 infill tool. How to slice in Fusion, blah, 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 blah. Infill plugin, maybe? Let me add GitHub to it. Adding GitHub. Tapnair, maybe? Let me just check. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so this is what I use to do the cool little pattern stuff. So this is a Tapnair / Fusion filler. And this is a very simple tool. This will just create a pattern that you can then, well, actually, it'll create another solid that is actually something that you can that you can work with in order to. It's made for making an infill pattern, but we're not using it for an infill pattern. We're using it for our own evil purposes of just making a lattice structure on the back of this thing. When you do Fusion and you want to do like a pattern on something, a lot of little tiny shapes really destroy the program. And I've looked up tutorials on how to do it, and all the tutorials are like, okay, so I'm gonna put this there, and then I'm gonna draw 65 squares. I'm not drawing 65 squares. Fuck that. This tool helps you draw 655 squares in order to create a pattern. And we've used it for a couple different purposes. One of the ones was actually on the shifter that I 3D printed. We put a hexagonal opening all around it and made it look like something you would buy at Pier 1 Imports. It looks like a candle holder. Whatever. Portal's getting an RTX update? Okay, that sounds kind of cool. I might have to try that. What is the AMDs can do? The card that I have is like a top of the line AMD. It can do RTX stuff, right? Yeah, I think it can. I think it can do that. That sounds kind of fun. RTX is weird because like you spend $1,000 and then you're like, this puddle looks slightly more convincing, even though you're still in like a 3D rendered world that you know, nothing about that, the pictures that you're looking at look like reality, and having like lighting and reflection mapping doesn't really bridge that gap. Everything still looks like 3D rendered stuff. So it's cool tech. It's cool tech, but the puddles look slightly better. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as I've ever seen it really go. RTX is weird. It's kind of a waste. It's kind of a waste of heat. Okay, anyway, so this is the Tap Nair fusion filler. Yeah, this water looks kind of like, well, it kind of looked like water before. I guess it looks more like water now. Cool. Mm. Okay. Tomb Raider 2 water. I remember when, back in the day, I think it was, it was like a Microsoft game, 2mm. Back in the day, when the chips started supporting their own, like, water physics and stuff, and so you'd be in your game, and you'd run over a puddle, oh my god, look at that! And all the fans on the graphics card would turn up to full and everything, and you get this rippling water. And I looked at a game that did that recently. Looks like shit. It looks terrible. It looks absolutely irredeemably bad. Oh my god, I can't believe we thought that was awesome. Oh my god. And so I don't know if RTX is going to be the same way. You're like, whoa, I can see that taillight reflection in the puddle that I'm supposed to run by. I gotta do other stuff in the game. Cell factor with, yeah, PhysX was a big deal too. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to utilities. I believe it is add-ins, right? Scripts and add-ins. This isn't a Fusion app. This is something that you put into the folders from that GitHub. And there are instructions on the Tap Nair GitHub. Where's my, oh, the window's all the way over here. Okay. And then the script, it's an add-in. Oh, 100K gauges. 100,000 gauge. RTX makes it easier for me to get things to look good in Unreal. I have to turn it back off because it excludes 90% of the players. God, it's dumb. I don't know. I wanted a top-of-the-line system because it'd be fun. Wait, none of these are the right thing. Oh, trace parts, fusion filler. That's what we're looking for. So we run that, and now I've got this button over here. Is it over here? No, it's only in utilities. So I got these guys right here, and only one of these two works, and I forget which one it is. I forget how to use this thing. Body for infill. I can't select the surface only. It's just the whole body. All right. There's the body for infill. Infill type. I don't know. One of these is broken. That's why. Infill style. Hex. Half an inch. I want that in millimeter. Let's make the major diameter of the size 20 millimeters. The shell thickness is 2. Oh, wait, no, we don't want a shell thickness, so 0.00 millimeter. The rib thickness is 2 millimeter. Let's see what that does. Click OK. Create shell is not what I wanted. Oh my god, everything broke. Let's do... Which one of these is which, too? Okay, let's just see if we can... Oh, now it'll let me select just that part? Oh, yeah, it did a bunch of stuff. Control Z. I'll select that first, maybe? Yeah, there we go. So selecting that inside first, now it knows what it's doing. 20 millimeter. We want it to be big, because this is supposed to just look like lattice work. Shell thickness, 0. Rib thickness, 2 millimeter. Hex. Maybe direct cut. Hey, there it is. I don't think I wanted direct cut, though. I got 2 sketches, and then the body of the lattice work. Now, where is this filler? This is inside of the solid. So what I want to do is I want to take that solid, and I want to take the top face of that solid. Oh my God, what is it doing over there? Oh, it's infilling. I see. Maybe that's why we want create shell, huh? I just wanted to take that pattern. Maybe I can take the other side of it. So I can take this, I can hit extrude, and then my software explodes. Okay, I can extrude this, and then unview that body, and view this one. And I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna start from object, and that'll be this part of the face, and the distance is -2. Click OK. No, not new body. Oh, no. I want to join. I wanted it to join. I want to join. We can do that after the fact. Oh, my God. See, this is Fusion 360 and a bunch of small shapes. This is what's going on right now. It's just having a bit of a think about it. Okay. So let's, and this one, and I can, well, actually, I'll just do, from the solids, this, target body, this one, tool body, this one, and I want to join them. I don't want to keep the tool, and I'm done. Those are a little smaller than its predecessors. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's, maybe that's not so good right there. Dun, 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 dun. We can clean that up, though. That's easy to clean up. The other ones don't really need cleaning up, right? No, they're pretty good. I like my little lattice work. I think that's a cool little feature of this. Okay, so what I'll do is we could just take the definition of this hole, and we'll extrude through that, and that'll clean it up. So that would be this Platen sketch. And then, oh, but if I extrude, then I won't get the chamfers. Well, we'll move the chamfers. Here, first I'll move the chamfers. Where are we chamfering that? Right there. And then the one before it? Yeah. So I want to take... Actually, if I do take those, then the lattice work doesn't reach it. Son of a bitch. Hold on a minute. How am I going to do that, then? The joys of fusion. Yeah, really. I mean, I could just make those thicker. You know, not have that little border around it. Or maybe it's a setting in the fusion filler. Hold on, let's Control Z. We're not done yet. So if I take that, click on that specific object. See, I think it does it for the whole thing and not just what I've selected, not the area I've selected. And that might be one of the settings. So we still have this here. Let's Control Z until that's gone. So our drawing is nice and clean. There we go. And then back to fusion filler. Body. Hold on, let me select this first. That, and then we're going to create a shell. And the major diameter size is going to be 30 millimeters. I want larger hexes. Shell thickness. I mean, if I make it a millimeter, is that going to do it? Because it does say create shell. So if I give it a shell thickness, let's just try it. Rib thickness is 2 millimeter. 2 millimeter inch. Hex, and that's the body. I don't know. Well, let's just try it. Okay. What happened? Nothing nothing, huh? Nothing happened. Control Z. Rib thickness. 2 millimeter. Shell thickness. 1 millimeter. Major size. 30 millimeter. Great shell. Hex. Okay. This might break. It did not break, but now there's a lot of Z fighting going on. So I think that's creating the structure inside of this. I can't see it though. We've just got Z fighting going on. Weird. The clear material is not showing through. Wait, why did it just created another? Oh, because this one internally has the, it probably has the stuff inside of it. Can we clip into it? It does not have the stuff in, wait a minute, clip into it. No, I think it just recreated my sketch. What the heck? Okay, all right, this thing's cursed. Control Z. Get me out of here. Control Z my way away from this. How did I have it avoid? How did I have it avoid this area before? If I could like extrude. Uh-oh. Oh. Extrude this like this and call it a cut. Yeah, it doesn't let me do it. No target found. Ah. See, I want to be able to select just that so that I can clean up the interior of those. Weird. I could extrude outward from those. No, that doesn't work. Yes. How do I do thing? I could make a 2 millimeter object out of that, use the tool on that object, direct cut, and do major diameter 30 millimeter, shell thickness 0, rib thickness 2 millimeter. Thirty's a little big. Bum, 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 bum. Where even is this body? Oh, I see. It's in addition to, yeah. How big are these? The ones that I had on the other one. Oh, I see. I used a different fill. I used triangles. We'll go back to triangles. Whatever happened to triangles? Remember triangles? There were no triangles in the NVIDIA presentation. How many triangles? Tell me now. Stop doing things like interpolating frames in our stuff. We don't care about that. We didn't want that in TVs. 20 millimeter, not triple M. Where are my triple M games? We have AAA games. Shell thickness 0.00 millimeter. Direct cut. Rib thickness 2 millimeter. And then we are choosing triangles because they're fun. We like triangles. Go. Awesome. How cool are we? Larger triangles. We want larger triangles. Epic's nanite presentation had triangles. Oh, I missed that. Triangle. 30. 0. I wish this remembered anything that I put in. 2. I wish I remembered anything. Okay, body 6 goes away, and now we have a non-interfering perfect rib pattern, what we can combine with our other solid. And this will print pretty nicely on a printer. I should know, I've printed it. Target body, flatten. Tool body, body 7. Don't keep the tools and don't make a new component. Bada bing. Look at that. Beautiful. So that's how I did the rib pattern inside of the 3D print. Pretty cool. I think that tool is very good because it's kind of like one of those no-nonsense tools. I didn't find anything within Fusion 360 that let me do that. And of course, I had to edit some display settings on the clear material in order so that it didn't perfectly transmit light through it, so we could actually work with it while it's looking a little bit transparent. That's all appearance menu stuff. I love the appearance menu in Fusion. I'm a big fan because I like things to look pretty. These are going to be floating pretty far above everybody, huh? These circuit boards. I don't think they're going to be this far away on the final design, but yeah. And then hopefully, I mean, the screw head is going to interfere here. That's going to be kind of a difficult one. It might not. It actually might not. I just don't want the post that I use to interfere with this magnet side, because that is where the magnet mounts that'll hold the wooden piece up on my wall. I don't want this thing to fall off because I don't have glass to replace it. It was glued around the glass. So if the glass breaks, that's it. No more piece of wood. That'll be a weird one. Bump, 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 bump. An offset fan. But I mean, the fan is really in the background, so I could move that up a little bit. I kind of wanted the fan to be sort of like around the Raspberry Pi. The VFD and the Raspberry Pi are going to create a bunch of heat, and so I will be extracting that heat with this fan. There will be a nice cool breeze and maybe a little bit of a swirl going on in there. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, I guess we won't use the 24-volt power supply. That's a little bit unfortunate. But it is way bulky for what this thing is. I mean, this thing has to sit next to the board in all of its glory. Looks a little bit like a robot face, huh? Where's my... Oh, I skipped over it. There we go. Okay, so I got some 3D printing to do. Basically, what I'm going to do is right-click on this thing, save as mesh, not change any of the settings, give it a name, throw it onto my desktop folder, and then just drag and drop it into Super Slicer. I have an older version of Super Slicer, but yeah. Yeah, I know. It really is a robot face, huh? That thing's sticking up a little bit in front of that. I don't know. I mean, like, mounting this radiator, I would like to put, like, a cover over it. And maybe, just in case, have room to put a fan on it. I don't think I'm going to need a fan, though. I don't think that laser produces that much heat. We had it on a heat sink before, and it was just, it was like a little, what do you call it? What are they called? The little, like, metal tube that has refrigerant in it. Heat pipe. There we go. Jeez, it's not even a complicated term. We had a little heat pipe on it from a laptop, and it cooled it perfectly. Everything was fine, you know, that worked great. But, you know, just for the memes, we want to water cool. So just for the memes, I would like to put a cover on that, maybe put a fan on there. We'll see whether or not we need to do that. All right, so that was that. I have to relegate myself to 3D printing this fucking thing. That means that I think I am done for the day. We didn't have a lot to do today. I just wanted to make sure that I was in a position to have the... Here, hold on. I can't see what my production is doing right now. Where's my OBS? Am I even streaming right now? Oh yeah, it turns out I am. I am streaming. Okay. We'll go back to this camera. So yeah, I am, I don't have much else to do today. Everybody knows what pareidolia is, yeah. Okay, I'm done for the day. I don't have anything else that I need to work on other than printing that thing. And that way, when we pick up on Thursday, we can mount this thing, and we'll get the chemicals, we'll get the methyl ethyl ketone out, and I'll get a paintbrush, and we'll see if we can paintbrush our way into sealing our 3D print. That thing has had weeks to dry, so we can use the one that we already built up, and I'll just get the sides with the paintbrush, We'll see if that seals, if we can run water through that. That'll be the best way for me to check. And then I'll take one of the other printouts. I edited my layer height and got like a really thin print, like a really high quality print of that thing. And we can see if we can manipulate that in order to become our sealed plastic piece that's going to allow me to water cool the laser. Alternatives to doing that are taking a piece of brass pipe and wrapping it around like a post, if you can manage to wrap it without making it either shatter or collapse in on itself. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So we're going to try to do the 3D printed thing, and that's going to have to last years. That'll be fun. Years of worrying whether or not this thing is going to puke its guts, its water out. But yeah, let's work on that on Thursday. So I'll have the 3D print, we'll assemble that, and then we will work on sealing a 3D print from leaking water when it has water being pumped through it pretty angrily by a pretty angry little pump. Whew. All right, thank you guys for joining me. I don't think I'm gonna get into raid politics right now. It's not political. It's just, you know, there was one point in time when people expected me to raid their channels, and from then on, it kind of sullied the whole thing for me. So I'm just gonna end here. I want to thank you guys for the anonymous gifts and the subs and all the support. Things will get crazy around here when we get Burn the Subs back up. We will have a hell of a time, right? Your new monthly incentive offer is available? What the fuck? Oh, God. Hell no. No way. Start delay, add length, add spacing. They've given us all of these controls. $28 to run 1 minute of ads per hour if I stream 37. Jesus Christ. 70 extra dollars? No thanks. I'm good. Thank you guys. I don't want to clog this channel with ads because we've got subs. That's what we're concentrating on. So we're gonna get this thing working as soon as we possibly can without burning bother to the ground, right? There goes the neighborhood. No, nothing's changing. I'm not changing that up. They would have to offer me a hell of a lot more money, and I'm sure the bigger streamers get that, but I'm not doing that. You guys have supported me really well, and I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Thank you guys for all of the help around here. Opinion on assembly. I'm finishing a degree with focus on embedded, picking my last electives, power electronics versus assembly. Oh man, I've known disgruntled power electronics engineers. There's a guy who worked, I think he was originally on Creative Labs, and then they all moved over to this other company that I did an internship for. He was like the human embodiment of burnout. All he had to do was size and choose a power supply module that went into this system. It was a system that used a lot of embedded. But all he would do, he basically went on the Jameco website. No, not the website. He got the catalog. He got the catalog for Jameco, and he found a power supply that met the specifications, and they ordered it. He just put it in the box with everything else. He probably went to a supplier to get it too, but I mean, that was it. He just bought a power supply and bolted it in to the enclosure with everything else, and that's what this whole company used. And this is a device that gets used by some pretty high profile musicians, and it just works. So what he was like, I hate technology. I do that here, and then I go home and I sit on my porch and I play guitar. That's his life. He goes in to a tech job to do power supply electronics, power electronics. Well, power electronics in terms of a degree might mean power transmission, which would be a totally different thing. But he did power in regards to like device electronics, and that he hated. Then he would just go home and play guitar. In addition to that, assembly sucks. Assembly is rough, man. We had to take a course in, I forget the processor. It's some kind of ancient processor. And we had to do, by hand, move the ones and the zeros around the processor with the clock cycles in order to pass this test. So it was move LW 40, and you're like, oh, line 40. What does the processor do in the memory? What's this instruction? Assembly sucks. Both of those classes sound like hell, so good luck. Although power electronics is really cool. I didn't exactly study power electronics, but I was adjacent to it with control systems. So if we're talking power transmission and stuff like that, you might have a stint in motors, which are just math. Motors are just math. It's insane the amount of math that can be contained in a bunch of little coils that spin around really fast. It's crazy. With that, though, my brain is broken just thinking about it. I've forgotten more math than I think a lot of people have ever seen in their lives. Inputting hex with a keypad. We didn't even do that. We didn't get to do that. We didn't get to do that. We had to program a little robot, and I cheated on that, and they actually didn't discover. Like, I said in the comments of my code that I disabled this function, and I'm actually just sending it as per measures, and I expected to get a really bad grade on the test because we were supposed to put we basically had an arena that had two blockings and then an entry point and an exit point. And so our robot was supposed to bump up against the blockings and figure out where they were and then go on a path to avoid them as quickly as possible. I think the as quickly as possible was just implied. And so what I did is I came up with this whole thing with like the quadratic equation in order to make the robot do a diagonal. Because we had to like move the motors for a particular amount of time. There were two servo motors that didn't have a stopping point. So we had to move it and have it for time and have it move a particular degree, which would mean they weren't servo motors, whatever. And then distance, and then turn, and then distance, and then turn, right? Knowing what I know now, I could have made a driver file and then had the instructions be more simple, and that way the programming would have been straightforward. I don't know what I programmed at the time, 20 years ago. Less than 20 years ago. Less than 20 years ago. It was a little bit less than 20 years ago. Only a little. But yeah, I tried to do a square b square and do a diagonal on what was assumed to be the location. So first time chatter, what do I do with that? I don't speak. Select language. Good afternoon. Okay, all right, good. Wait, Portuguese. Oh, cool, man. Well, I can't moderate you in Portuguese, so we're wrapping up here. I'm actually closing down because my brain is broken and I need to do a bunch of 3D printing now because we designed solids. We designed our solids, we fixed our solids, we got them looking good, they're in Fusion. I need to print them now. That is an arduous task and it's just stupid. I'm not going to show it on camera. It'll take me, I got to load up the clear filament and then just get it going. Yeah, the footage shows up on the Discord every now and then. If you'd like to see stuff like that, the general category of our Discord is full of that kind of stuff because that's a great thing to post in general. It's like these Japanese competitions where they have these little robots that figure out where the maze is and then just like go through it at lightning speed. I didn't do that. I measured timings and had it do the turns and stuff and had it just go through and pretend. I had the robot go through and bump off of the things, and then I just had it run a routine that made it go through the maze. And I was like, ha, I did it. And everybody's like, whoa, wow, you made it go diagonal. And I'm like, my life is a lie. I submitted it, and I called out where I actually, cheated, but the TA maybe didn't read it at all. I mean, I had functional code, so maybe it was just a couple steps away from working. How about a Twitch channel just watching your 3D prints? I would end up walking by it like pantsless or something, and everybody would then see my ball sack, and then everything gets shut down. It'd be nice for a little while. Not the ball sack part, but everything else, having a 3D printing channel. I don't trust that. I don't think I should do that. Yeah, no, we're just gonna board up the shop and pretend, turn off the lights and we'll pretend we're not here, and maybe everybody will go away. I will be back on Thursday. The Wednesday I keep open so that I can do all of the boring stuff in the background. So on Thursday, we will re-adjourn and we will work more on Burn the Subs. We got a lot of good stuff done today, and I kind of mentally, I know where I am with this project. We want to finish hardware. We want finish hardware. No, we want to finish hardware, and then we can go into the Python and root out how we're going to communicate with the Clipper API, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? All right. Thank you guys for joining me. And always